If you would like to support the UFO Garage podcast, please go to ufogaragepodcast.com/store. Buying some of our merch is a great way to support the podcast. It keeps us going, and we donate 20% of all of our earnings towards UAP and UFO research groups and experiencer support groups. Every quarter, we choose a new company or group that we would like to support that's helping others. So if you'd like to participate, buying some of our merch is a great way to do that.
Hey, this is another episode of UFO Garage.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Joe, and this is where we talk about them UFOs, aliens, and all things weird. What's up? What's up? When I wear this hat, I hit my microphone all the time. Because usually I wear a bandana, so it throws it off.
Gotta watch out, man.
I feel like it's messing with my depth perception. I don't know what to do. There needs to be a study. Do the bills of hats affect your depth perception? And is that why cool people like Ben wear them backwards? With glasses?
When it's sunny outside, I wear a hat backwards. I still shade my face like this. I don't turn my hat back because I don't want to not be cool. I just keep my hat cool side and then shade my eyes from the sun that way.
And then little do you know, everybody's like, hey, look at that dummy.
Look at that idiot. Actually, sometimes I fully extend it if it's like super sunny.
Do them one in front of the other?
Yeah, like the Sandlot kid's bill on his hat. Remember how long?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That big ass Leave It to Beaver hat, dude. That shit was awesome.
Who was that hat for? Why was it so long? Why was the bill so long?
Oh, bro, it was because the sun was a lot stronger back in the day.
Oh, well, we all know that.
They've done studies. I think the Earth is darkened by like 12% since back in the day.
Thanks,
in the
Bill
50s.
Gates.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bill Gates.
Go.
Who else can we blame?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Oprah.
Totally had something to do with this.
Giving people all that free shit, you know?
Yeah.
You know how much free shit she's giving away? She's useless. Somebody had to make that in a factory somewhere. She's leaving a huge carbon footprint with all the crap people are taking home and throwing away.
Don't you know there's some manufacturing company out there or somebody that works at the manufacturing company like, oh, I worked really hard on that thing.
It's like, man, they just threw it away? It's like, yeah, your idea sucks. But then there's people who are like, hey, can you just make a really crappy idea so we can sell it? And they're like, yeah.
Where's this going? Oh, it's going on the Oprah show. It was just a little trinket, you know. Oh,
yeah.
Shit, yeah, I got some glue and some toothpicks liner.
I want to know, does anybody in the chat know what the coolest prize Oprah ever gave away was?
That's a good idea. Good question. While we're waiting,
did they really give away cars? Sorry,
I think she did, dude.
She did give away a car.
Yeah,
Blowjobs are better. That's all I'm saying.
Who's giving the blowjob?
I mean, some you know,
some person in the factory,
some person who is very talented, very respected in the community, crawls from under your chair, and everybody in the audience gets a free blowjob.
Does everybody watch? Is this like a personal thing? Are there dividers?
I mean, you know, dude, you know how it is when you get a BJ. You just throw the head back and close the eyes, man. You just go for the ride.
I don't know if I can focus. It's too many people.
It's really noisy in here. Usually I'm okay with it, but like there's 125 of us is a little weird.
They're still everybody's clapping.
Everybody's clapping still.
And behind door number 2. Still waiting.
Oh, does Oprah have doors?
I don't know, man.
On her show?
Oh, she should. She does.
She's like, let's bring out shithead number 1.
It's just some dude in overalls like, well, shit, I guess I'm shithead now.
I guess I'm that guy.
I guess I'm that guy forever. Should have wore something better than overalls with no shirt underneath. Also, why is there a carrot in the front pocket?
They said we were going to Buc-ee's.
Cheryl,
We are-
I done told you we're going to Buc-ee's.
We're going to the bait shop, dude.
I'm pretty sure.
That would suck. I always think about that, like those TV shows. Dude, hold on. Let's bring our guest in.
Yeah, let's bring
this
a guest
is
in.
just gonna go too far.
What's up, Carter?
Dude, what's up, man?
Guys? It's finally the stars aligned for this trio, man. I've been on UFO Garage before when I snuck in with Big Willie, but it is truly an honor to be here with you guys, man. We're an effing tripod, like the girl next door quote, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Heck yeah. I'm excited. This is going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
Also, we're all wearing glasses. That is
We
neat.
are.
That is
We're all a bunch
neat.
of dorks.
Hell yeah, dude.
Four eyes, man, but still, I'm looking for that third eye tribe with your pineal gland. Whenever I'm on my hikes, I always pick up the pine cones and I say, guys, just remember, this is in the center of your brain. And exactly the second you die, it just floods with DMT, the stuff that makes you dream. So I am really looking forward to the next chapter, but let's make the most of this one.
This is going to be a good chapter.
Dude.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder, like, the longer you live, the more DMT you build up in your brain. So it's like, if there's somebody out there like, hey, we'll just let's see what it's all about now. Well, it's probably be better to wait because there's like more DMT the longer you live, man. You know.
I always think
That's a good way to like talk a dude off the ledge,
Yeah.
you know? Be like, bro, build up that DMT.
yeah,
very specific.
Save it up. Gotta save it up. If you use it all too early, then I mean, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna dream the rest of your life? Come loser, you know? Wait till the end. Do a lot of cool shit first, right? Even like uncool shit. It's almost like you as a person, right? You have your own book. And like, even though like maybe if your book isn't that awesome to you, and like there's a lot of like just, you know, like negative stuff in your book that doesn't go your way, there's always somebody else that's reading that book like, this is such a good book. Oh my God, I cannot believe the character in this book. You know, it's such a good book. So even if like your book isn't that cool, always know that like you're somebody's favorite book, you know?
Oh, dude, I love that.
Hell yeah.
I like that too. I don't know if you were speaking in general or about my books, but yes, both ways, 100%. You know, you got to see the good and the bad of it, and let your losses guide you to a brighter path. And I'm big on that. You know, I love just winging it and then seeing what happens. And it's test and fail, but 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 stumble back, but stay on your feet.
That's right, man. Yeah, sometimes I just associate words and go on rants like you said chapter, and I was like, let me talk about
I know about books. I know about books.
I'm an author, and I just didn't know if you were, you know, like linking it to that. So I was like, I don't know if he's talking about my book. I don't know if I should like make a joke that the reviews were pretty decent. I like my book. It's a story about me.
It was very coincidental. Let's just say that it was very coincidental. No, it wasn't aimed at you at all. In particular, we're just talking about chapters in our life, and you know, chapters go in books, man.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
Tell us about your book, man. Like, you said you had multiple?
Yes, I've published 4 books. I've written like 7 or 8, so those are still expanding. But I actually just signed a book deal with Beyond the Fray Publishing, and I'm super proud of that because originally I just self-published them and edited them. I did all the illustrations, and I'm very proud of those. Those are my projects, and I've been able to create some strong pillars with that. But then once they came into the picture, it got really professional. You know, they put hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars into the structuring. The layout is amazing. But the first one is Erie Swamps Road Trip to Eden. It's a journey from Lake Erie down to the Florida swamps, and then the final chapter is the Garden of Eden. And I am huge on the Garden of Eden. If anybody is here, you know, they follow my channel, they know that I've hiked through where 27 of the 28 trees from the Bible are, and where the good book says a delta breaks into 4 rivers, I could point you in that location. So it's a really mystical trail, and it's cool because everybody thinks it's metaphysical or metaphor, but I show you that you can road trip there, and I give you coordinates. But I also talk about how it's brought me there my whole journey, and it's ironic or crazy how the cycle of life, it's brought me to where life began. But all the way from Ohio, lived out in my car, down to Florida, referee sports, and then picked up a lot of freelance work, and just survived. And then with that, you meet a lot of people that you need to. All your needs will fall into place, but you definitely have to stumble a few times. I've slept in some sketchy locations, definitely stayed at weird people's houses. And then once I moved down to Florida, I joined a punk rock musical. I became the stage manager, and it was really cool because I'm just a lover of cinematography, cinema, stories, and of course paranormal. So it was about a punk rock band and their final show, but there was dream sequences, and there was curses and holy grails and witches and swamps. So it was right up my alley of creation and also this weird stuff that I'm doing. But we did a bunch of seances, and we had a thing called Glass Corner in our kitchen that we just smashed glass to evaporate energy. And it honestly became a famous and favorite thing around Lakeland. Like grown-up people that were respected around town would come and release energy with us. And it became a really cool, wild trend. But then my mom moved down to the panhandle of Florida. So I moved from Lakeland to the panhandle after a hurricane. Everything kind of fell into place. And now I'm right down the street from Torreya State Park, where Stacey Brown filmed The Skunk Ape and Finding Bigfoot. Had a couple episodes there. There's been a lot of professional investigations and podcasts. And then right across the river is my favorite spot, the Ocheesee Pond. That is where the wild man got captured in 1874. It was harassing women and children around the swamp village, and then Native American gatherers and Civil War veterans teamed together, surrounded this creature, netted it, and then sent it to the Capitol. And the governor said, "No way, Jose." Sent it to Chattahoochee Hospital. And for the film people out there, you guys know Gary Oldman made a movie about the Chattahoochee Hospital, about war veterans being mistreated. Cruel, unusual punishment experiment.
Yeah.
So imagine what they did to the wild man. But the theory and the story is that he passed after 3 years. They buried him with a bunch of Native Americans from a prison camp, and then they put a building on top of him. I've talked to other people that they said he's out in the woods by the golf course. A good friend of mine, Jack, sorry to throw him under, but he's an IT guy there. He lives on campus. So I get to investigate the actual grounds a lot. So it's really cool because there's tunnels that go into a military base or maybe secret lab, and they actually go out all the way to the river. So I want to hope that maybe the wild man escaped and is back in the swamp. But his descendants still lurk there, and I've talked to people that are related to the ones that have captured him. And I talked to this radio guy, old Joe Colson, and he has a homemade hearing aid that he can like mess with the frequencies, and he can listen to the creatures breathe. And he says they could be within like 25 feet of them, and you still can't see them because they blend and camouflage. And a lot of people say they're just like a walking shimmer, pretty much just like the Predator idea. So I am huge on, we are all supernatural and we are all the woo and paranormal. I was thinking about the words earlier: paranormal, supernatural, natural, normal. It's all just super, that's what's inside of. And if we didn't have all these blockers, crap in our water, zapped by the Wi-Fi and, responsibilities that just drive us nuts, we could probably tap in to some of these frequencies and waves that maybe these elementals, deities, spaceships in the sky, maybe even whole continents and cities. What happened to Atlantis or the people of the Mayan culture? Did they disappear as a people, or did they all go into like a physical portal or wormhole? I'm not sure, but just like crystals, once they serve their purpose, boom, they can go. We have particle and waveform as electrons, and most of the time we're waveform, solid as a rock. But then in our true moments of being, you can become waveform. And most of the time for human beings, the only time is when we die in 21 grams. We turn into our spirit, go through the dome, the firmament. Shout out Big Willie and David Weiss, of course. But I am huge on that. Our energy is eternal and it's forever. And, coincidence is the only thing to never exist in this world. Three-headed dragons, spaceships that are carved into petroglyphs, into native mounds, other mounds all the way across in Brazil, in Africa, in Asian countries, and even down in Australia. And then, of course, just the forbidden continents that they don't tell us about. They try to leak it in movies like The Lost World, Jungle Cruise, Godzilla went to Middle Earth. It's all right in front of our eyes, but we have to grasp it once in a while.
Where do we start?
Right.
Well, first,
it's like you said everything I've ever felt.
Yeah. No wonder your books are so popular, dude.
I always wanted to tell somebody exactly what you just said.
Yeah. Every time I meet somebody new,
nice to put it into words, man.
Hell yeah,
I appreciate the open-minded platform to let it spew as well.
Yes, let it go, man. Let it go. I love it.
I want to ask you questions about Bigfoot, but I kind of want to latch onto this thing you said at the end, Connor, about the difference between a wave and a particle. I've been geeking out on figuring out. I started writing some stuff a couple weeks ago, and I've been trying to figure out how is it all connected? Frequencies, waves, particle, light, time, space, us in our existence, the present, future, past. There's one. It's got to be all part of one ecosystem. Where do you sit on that?
Yeah, it's definitely all linked together. I think the Fibonacci spiral, the golden ratio, if you look close enough, you can find the correlations pretty much everywhere. And of course, my main thing is Bigfoot, but that links into orbs, that links into lights in the sky, electrical anomalies. Are they following the ley lines? Are they also following or being attracted to Native American mounds? And then where were the mounds placed at? And then it goes to ancient Earth and the subterranean caverns, and even how our football stadiums are placed on certain pressure points to maybe harness energy. So it gets really deep with everything being connected. Literally everything is connected with all of our apps and the minds. I've heard some crazy stuff that aliens, access the internet, and we've probably communicated with them. And especially now with blind dating and Omegle, shout out to the one time I was abducted. There is so many ways to pretty much break through. And then you start to think, whoa, is half the population reptilians, like TikTok's saying? You walk around Las Vegas or Los Angeles and you start seeing your friends, eyes start shifting. It gets really crazy once you dive in to the rabbit hole. Yes, everything is connected. All the missing people in the forest and all the wars that were planned right in certain locations, TV shows that predictive programming get us already. Yeah, man, all the energy is connected 1,000,000%, but it's Mother Earth, 100%, the realm. Everything we've ever known is in Earth. That is my beliefs. That is what my data has led me to. That is what my psychedelic trips has showed me. This is all Earth. We all are inside the realm. So even the farthest lands, still Earth, guys. And I take power in that. And I think they're hiding that from us because there is power in the soul. We are not an accident. We are made in the Creator's image somehow. And maybe how you gain ground is through the cryptids and maybe the ghosts or white noise, the other side, because they don't have the same limitations and boundaries. It's just like if you could ask a dog or a cat some questions, you would definitely seek some enlightenment. So I'm big on this is my church, this is my Christ. And if anybody wants to laugh at it, then I'll bring up they are descendants of Cain. Joseph Smith, who created the Mormon religion, ran into Cain in the 1800s, and he was as tall as him on a horse covered in hair. that doesn't make me Latter-day Saint, but that makes them all, the wild thing, descendants or connection. So this is just really serious for me, and little baby Jesus was on St. Christopher's shoulders. So I'm just huge on the religious, the science, the real life, the urban legends, the folklore. It all connects. So for skeptics, and I don't know, they have to cover their eyes and their ears. I take them as serious as giraffe skeptics. Like, you don't believe in Bigfoot? Like, are you serious? Have you not listened to even my channel? Like, my TikTok has proved Bigfoot. But if you just really take a deep dive, there's credible reports from police officers, firefighters, military veterans, land surveyors, loggers, bus drivers, truck drivers, college students, people that have graduated with dean's lists, the list goes on and on. Yeah. And people are just not well researched, of course. And as you guys know, there's new UFO footage every single day. Some of it is being generated, but there is so many countries and so many eyes to the sky, and so many of these that there is so much footage going around, man. And yes, this bottle is just being shaken up, and I'm ready for it to explode, man.
Heck yeah. Yeah, dude. I feel the same exact way. All this stuff is definitely connected. You know what I'm saying? Like, at first Ben and I were like, yeah, the flying saucers, right? And now I got like fucking crystals and shit in my house and like giant necklaces, like for no reason, right? Like, it's all connected. And you're like, how did this happen? Right? But it leads you down the path. And then all these paths, like each it feels like all the big topics are like big stepping stones, but like each of these stepping stones have like a million different paths that you can take, and they're all leading to the exact same thing. You end up just circling the entire thing over and over, just in different paths. You're like, wait a second, but then that means this.
Yep.
Oh, but then that goes with that over there, which had nothing to do with what I originally was talking about, but now it totally connects.
It's crazy how many different like trails that I've gone off of on the journey, of like little trails, and I'm like, actually, I'm gonna give the UFO thing a break and like try this thing out. And it always, I'll get to a point where it's like, oh, well, that just proved that first thing I was on is totally possible.
UFOs
every time, dude. It's crazy. Or I mean, not just UFOs, but like the spirituality stuff, man. It's constant. How much if you start looking at other things that are similarly, I guess, shunned by science or whatever, and you start, well, why has science shunned that so much? I want to look into that more. That makes me more curious, and like, I want to figure this stuff out. And every little different thing always leads back to proving the last thing I was looking at, man.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing when it all connects, man. And that just shows you're in the right place. And synchronicity, you start seeing the numbers, things start falling into place. You start predicting the future a little bit, thinking about somebody, and then they message you. It's just all aligning, man. There's a really cool movie called I Origins that he starts seeing all these signs, and then he finally follows them and kind of lives a life he was meant to. So I just tell everybody, seek the signs, break those barriers down and try to see the world for what it is. Try to be yourself as much as possible, and then the rest will really unfold.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's always easier, man. Like, in any situation, but, I guess universally speaking, but, you ever go into a place, like sometimes we'll get invited to like company events or something, like with my wife or, back in the day with my parents or whatever. And you'd have to kind of be like not yourself a little bit. But then like after a while, I kind of like unbutton that top button. I'm like, you know what? This is way too stiff for me. I'm going to loosen it up, right? Then, Gangnam Style comes on and I go hit the dance floor. And all of a sudden I'm everybody's friend. And it's the best party I ever been to. I should have just been myself from the beginning, because that whole beginning part was a waste of time. And it sucked. The food was good, but still,
The food would have been better if you would have been stuffing your face a little bit, and you would have probably got seconds. Yeah. So again, just be yourself. But I have to work on it too. I'm still me, loud and proud, but this world tries to break you down at every dang angle. So you have to remain strong. And I think everything happens for a reason. Like, even silly as people, type in chat, us being together, all this is all the destiny of plan. And you really have to make it happen. And then you can just really control the wheel. And I love it, man. It's a special thing.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about like synchronicities and just timing and everything. I've been through people that we chat with every now and then, if it's during the show or after the show. I always say the same thing. Like it's about riding the wave. Like just go with it. Don't question it. Just if it feels right. Like there are no coincidence or accidents. There are only paths of least resistance. Just go with it. If it feels good in your gut and you're learning something and you're excited about it, like, dude, come on. Like, Joe, you're talking about the book, right? Like that's a whole new chapter, bro. Let's get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it, man.
Our book is gonna have like every other page of the chapter.
Yeah,
We're like, oh, that's okay. That's enough of that one. Let's move on to the next thing.
Mainly illustrations, like really,
just big pictures, a couple words on it, lots of color of like, like 3 colors.
When I signed when I signed with the publishing company, I thought that they were actually going to make me take some of my illustrations out, but they loved them. So I was like, heck yeah, because it looks like, I don't know, a 3rd grader drew them, but it's the best I could do. But it's the creatures that are in the moment or the situation. Man, it was really cool. But yeah, man, I'm all about creating, and I've written over 1,000 songs, made over 500, and it's really cool to listen back to your music and read the chapters that you wrote, when you were passed out with your eyes closed, just remembering the ASDF, JKF, 2nd grade freaking typing or 7th grade typing class. Then you look back in the morning, you're like, man, I was onto something, but I spelled it 98% wrong. But that's what it's all about. It's just finding yourself in those moments, even if you have to remember it the next morning.
Dude. Man, I thought of a question. Dude, what is the most vivid, what's the moment that made you believe that, oh, yeah, there is another hominid creature? Like, could you maybe go on that? Like maybe the first time you're like, boom, yep, that's proof enough for me.
Definitely. I believed, even with the PG footage and hearing about Harry and the Hendersons or all the other scary movies, that the Beasts of the Boggy Creek and just the Abominable Snowman. So I was a big fan to start with. But I actually had an encounter with 2 of my buddies, Jake and Alex, and we saw a Wolfman type creature. A couple weeks after they had a daytime encounter, I was sleeping over at Alex's house. We were down in his basement. He had a walkout basement with like all glass window, and it went into the woods, and it was a place called Caves and Cliffs. And then there was a abandoned drive-in theater, abandoned little swimming area with a diving area, tons of caves, lots of areas to explore, lots of areas we couldn't really even get to. And we always heard about the Wolfman, and that's how they described it. They didn't say a Sasquatch or anything. They said a Wolfman, and that was before the term Dogman ever came out. So we really just thought it was a werewolf. So I was all in on it because I was into the strange stuff. So they were amping it up. And this was actually the first time I was sleeping over there. And his parents even knew about it. So I knew it wasn't a hoax or anything. I knew maybe it was coyotes or maybe wolves or feral dogs. But I had my high alert. But we played pool for a few hours, and then something strange just struck us. And I actually had them type out their encounter and experience, and they said that they physically heard something rustling outside. I don't think so. I think it was internal. I think it was either like sixth sense, or maybe they zapped us with infrasound and kind of let us know it was nearby and close out there. But we end up turning out the lights and then moving over to like the bar area and peeking through this little window, and we see this hulking black figure down in the den. And it was probably eye level to us. And
in the house?
No, what was that?
In the house? It was inside the house?
No, it wasn't in the house. We were in the house. Yeah, we were in the house, and we were looking out the window, and it was back there in the backyard staring at us, watching us. And you could just see it was huge, blacker than the blackness behind it. And again, those guys said that they saw his eyes glistening and glowing. I honestly don't remember that. I was just frozen. Don't remember how long, but we dove into the staircase for a little bit. We end up creeping out after a few minutes, looking out, turning the lights on, didn't see him. And then we try watching a movie, and we end up having to go all the way upstairs before we go to sleep, sleep up in Alex's room. And then the next morning, his mom, who was really religious, really by the book, said that, oh, why'd you guys have to sleep upstairs? And we said, we saw the creature. And she said, yeah, we've heard man-like owl calls pretty much every night since they moved in. And I've tried to contact like a couple of the neighbors, like a couple of the girls that I knew that lived over there, but I really haven't had much luck. But the more reports I've heard, they follow all these old human structures. So it was really interesting with the drive-in theater and just the caves, because it can link to anything. And the mascot of our town was the Brunswick Blue Devil. And another West Virginia legend, the Blue Devil, wasn't the Brunswick Blue, the Blue Devil, it was a werewolf. So maybe there is some kind of correlation. But that was definitely it. But that really just sparked a bunch of stuff. We then started talking about my cousin's encounter at my grandparents' house. He was just paralleled by a big creature. He never got to see it. And then Jake, who was still there with me in the Sleepy Hollow incident, and that first place is called Sleepy Hollow as well, just to add to it. And another time we got lost back there, and we saw some large, big dogs. But that's a pretty common thing. Just large creatures that end up getting feral. But now I look back, I'm like, whoa, maybe lycanthrope or rougarou, or maybe a man that turned into that dog just in the first place.
Damn, dude.
But then I started doing psychedelics, and things got really strange and weird. But yeah, it was awesome. And it really opened my mind to knowing that magic exists. And I started being more appreciative and just open-minded, and probably just slower. I'm trying to not be in a rush anywhere, because we live in a placebo world, because they tell us these things don't exist. Things I've seen with my own eyes, feelings I still feel, things I still reoccur in my dreams. And of Ken, it had to come from somewhere. They don't just make these movies from just an idea. I'm pretty creative myself. You guys are all too, but I'm sure we've never honestly made something up. We just pick from existence, And that's the beautiful thing. It provides all. It will always provide everything we ever need. You just have to need it or want it.
Dude, I've seen some pretty cool stuff in the sky, but I've never had an encounter with something else like in the woods. But I've always believed it, because I had a buddy in high school, and his dad and his uncle, they were coming home from down here kind of near where we live. It's probably about like 20 miles away. There's like a little lake area. And we were all over at his house one night, and man, we were just chit-chatting. And for some reason, UFOs and Bigfoot and all that stuff started just coming up. We just started chit-chatting about it. And then he was like, hey, Dad, tell him that story about when y'all were out at the lake. And him and his uncle were there, and man, his dad's eyes, he told the story. It was really cool, but they kind of glazed over. Like, he had this crazy flashback kind of look to him when he was telling the story, and it was really weird. And he was like, we were driving down the road, and all of a sudden something real big kind of hesitated in the road, and we see it. It's too late. The thing moves, but it jumps from the side of the road and lands on the car. So one hand was on the windshield, and the feet were on the hood of it was a truck. And he said, and then it just jumped. It leaped off. And he said they hauled ass down the road. And when they got a few miles down the road, they pulled over. And when they got out, there was a big dent, and it was wet. Something had been in the water. And they were like, we don't know what it was. We were talking about Bigfoot and stuff. He was like, it wasn't that. Whatever this was, it was big and it was wet. And it didn't really have a color, not that we could tell, because it was nighttime, and it just jumped on the hood and then jumped off. He was it was like a big frog, like a frog man. So I think
I was just gonna say that got Frogman vibes, and I'm from Ohio, so the Loveland Frogman is definitely a home team mascot. We have the Ohio Grassman, Mothman, Loveland Frogman, Lake Erie Monster. I've
never heard of Frogman.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So there may be a Frogman case 20 miles down the road for me.
That's pretty wild, man. Because you're in Arizona, right?
No, Texas.
Texas. My
Yeah.
bad. For some reason, I thought Sedona, Arizona.
Oh yeah, I had said that we had taken a buddy out there just to visit, man. We like to go out and just hikes and stuff like that.
Well,
And
dude,
we know people out there
Texas is
too, so
Texas is amazing too. You got the Chupacabra, the
yeah.
Lake Worth monster, the town that said dreaded sundown. Texarkana.
Yep.
It's like,
Texarkana.
what state are you in? What state are we in? What state did they kill him in? What state did they find the body?
Right.
Texas,
It's all
and then
Texas.
Foggy Creek monster right on the Arkansas border with Falk. Man, yeah, it's really cool. And then sadly, there was a dogman case down in Brownsville where someone got opened up. Really scary and sad. Kind of similar to the LBL situation up in Kentucky, where they found someone up in a tree after a werewolf got to him. So this is all like, very serious. Like I love talking about it, but people have lost their life, and people who are naysayers, I would love for them to either go to like a Native American reservation and say to someone's face that you don't believe them, or maybe speak to a professional, or maybe just an older woman that, has gone through something very traumatic and maybe seeks therapy, and then hear her story, and then call her a liar. Like these people think they're so bold through a little keyboard. I dare them to do it in real life, because in real life, it's there, guys. It's there. So of course, everybody here watching now, premiere, all good. We all on the same wavelength, but I know this message is going to be speaking to skeptics, naysayers, fans, prophets, aliens, and even more things out there in the future. And they're probably going to try to go Fahrenheit 451 on it, just like the books and all the podcasts. They're going to try to wipe it, all the free thought, but let's try to keep it going and try to spew that free thought. That's what, like, I'm big on. They can't kill all the conspiracy theorists if all of us are onto it,
Right.
Just keep on to the right path, everybody, and spread that knowledge loud and proud. Even if you feel stupid in your situation, your encounter, if it doesn't come out perfect, who cares? It can really help somebody in the shadows. You never know. So definitely just swing. You might hit out of the park.
Dude, I always find myself in a situation where somebody will ask me a question, maybe somebody who's not even like into the topic. They just know that I'm into the topic. And then I'll think about it, and then I'll say it out loud. And then immediately in my head, I'll be like, man, that sounded a lot dumber when it came out of my mouth than it sounded in my head. In my head, it sounded really smart, but damn, like, I don't know. It's almost like it's hard to find a starting point with people who just aren't, it's just not a thing for them, right? As somebody who's really into certain topics and things like this in the paranormal world, it's always hard to find a starting point. Like, where do you start with this, right? You have a starting point. Everybody has a starting point, but I feel like with this topic specifically, you have to have your own starting point in order to really grasp it, because then you can kind of move around in whatever direction you want. But like, if you're like, hey, can you tell me something about this? I want to have a starting point. It's like, dude, I can't. You almost have to discover the journey for yourself. Because if I tell you, you're not going to want to look at it. You're going to be like, that's dumb.
It's so true.
It is a personal journey. It really is. It's weird.
Yeah, it is really hard to like start that conversation, because like somebody could say, tell me about, like, I don't know, an abduction case. And you could say, well, there was this guy on a river and there was robots and they were like hovering. It's Pascagoula is the name of the town. And like, you're already digging yourself a hole with that one. It's like, unless you're talking to somebody that knows about that case, about the Pascagoula case, all you have to say is Pascagoula. And they're like, oh yeah, love that case. Right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, brings me to the next thing, Connor. You said you were recently looking at, you were on the field doing some investigating out there.
Yes, I love the Pascagoula River incident, and actually just talked to someone that was related to one of the abductees, the non-military veteran. So I don't think it was Hickson. So he said that they were abducted because the extraterrestrials wanted to have knowledge on war. And then his uncle, his long-lost uncle, was just there by happenstance, and they brought him up too. But yes, it happened in the 70s. 2 men got abducted abducted on the Pascagoula River in Mississippi, and more than 200 people witnessed a spaceship from the ground. So yes, something did happen, but they brought them up, and they woke up in a really bright white room, and there was this giant eyeball that was just moving around, and it was some kind of like AI and robotic futuristic alien technology. It just kept moving around. And then 3 aliens appeared, and they were like grays. 2 of them were males, and they were shorter. And then the big one that was a female, and she ended up experimenting on the 2 men. Didn't hurt them, but did some weird things to their bodies, like right to their eyes and stuff. Really cool. And then they came down and they told their stories. They were all over the news back in the 70s. And of course, a lot of people said they were hoaxers, but then other people said that night they saw lights in the sky, so it started correlating. But yes, I went to the Pascagoula River, and I was really looking for the Rougarou, of course, the werewolf of the Mississippi swamp. And I went on a gator tour and was talking about that to the head guy, and my actual captain, I'm pretty sure his name's Sam. I have a picture with him. He recently passed away, so I just want to say shout out to Sam. It was awesome. He took us on a ride on the Rougarou. That's what our little boat was called, and he told us about some stories around there, took us to see some gators, but then we went around a state park, Shepherd State Park, along the Pascagoula, and I had a really embarrassing experience because I was calling out to the woods, trying to rile out the Rougarou or the Sasquatch, and it was right after we got out of New Orleans, so I'm not sure if my stomach was a little woozy and I was still in the moment, but we were walking on this boardwalk above the swamp, probably like 12 or 15 feet above the water, so it's really serious if you fall in, because there's a bunch of alligators and there's no way up. So kind of screwed. And we were jumping from beam to beam because it wasn't finished. And after I harass the woods, I make my final leap on the beam, and then boom, I land, and I have an accident. And we were hiking. So when you have an accident in your pants, it's really dangerous because rashes and stuff. And, it wasn't do or die. We weren't days out, but it was
the bears,
still,
dude. They're going to come get you.
They're going to come get They know,
it was more like crisis situation because I was with my buddy Adam with his parents, and they were driving us around. So it was just really awkward. But I ended up getting to mainland, and then the story even gets crazier because I have to get my underwear off. So I separate from Adam, and in my head, I'm thinking, David Paulides, man, I'm already falling into the trap. Like, I've been zapped already. Accidents happen, but something's in my pants. So I had to check myself, because I felt it was a little wet. So I'm in the woods, and I take off my shoes, and I pull down my pants a little bit, but I sense something a little close to me, and I have my pants down, and I see that I need to get rid of my underwear. That's just the only safe bet. I'm not going to sit here and wipe it with leaves, just got to go commando, of course. So I sense something kind of breaching towards me, and it has like a little bluff charge. It shows a little bit of aggression, like it's showing it kind of wants to reveal itself to me or maybe pounce on me. So I do like a quick drop, bury it under leaves, and pull my pants up, and then run back. But I don't want to say it ran at me like full speed, but I felt like it, was juking at me. And then I run back to Adam, and he's like, well, yo, what was up over there? And I'm like, nothing, man. He just thought I was me, And then I still don't even know if he's read that chapter, because of course I didn't tell his parents or anything, but they honestly see my Facebook post more than he does. So hopefully they're live and direct right now, and they're like, okay, that must have been that smell. But even when we got back to the outhouse, I asked to go to the bathroom, and his parents are like, you're a man, or something like that, pretty much like you could pee outside. And I was like, nah, number 2. But really, I had to just finally get some toilet paper and wipe myself correctly. And I forgot that I used my socks to wipe myself.
Hell yeah.
Genius. See, no one thinks about that. You have a towel. You have a towel built in. It's on your foot, man.
They're like, dude, you smell weird, and now you're only wearing one sock. What's going on here? You may have to make an edit to your book. You may have to recall it and make a little small edit in your book and put in the book. it's a good thing I had already shit my pants, because when I encountered this other thing, I shit my pants again. You know?
Yes. I couldn't tell if I was still leaking from before or if this was a new.
Yeah.
new
Turns out
droplet.
the previous shit was a blessing in disguise, because I shit myself again.
So
I would have.
Like the thing I would ask is like, okay, so you saw a swamp ape and you were so scared you shit your pants, and then you say, no, I shit my pants before I saw that thing.
Yeah,
that thing wasn't even that scary.
I pushed that thing off from probably like 50 yards away. But now I am respectful with calls with intent, because honestly, it was with intent. I was like marching loud and proud, trying to mess with Adam. Adam was a college football player. Everything's just serious and tough. I'm trying to scare him, and I end up getting scared. It's the oldest trick in the book. But yeah, I never try to rile people up in the woods anymore, because the woods will always provide.
Right.
But it was a wild story. Definitely an embarrassing tale, but it happens to the best of us. And I definitely want to raise awareness, because those rashes can be serious. And
Dude, sometimes I shit myself for fun,
Yeah. Dude,
oh yeah, man.
You don't feel like getting up that day. You're off. Nobody's home. Just gonna shit myself right here.
I saw one of the first questions in the chat even before it started. I sadly forget who it came from, but it said, wonder if any hunters have came across any Bigfoot poop. And I have photographed and held some big turds for sure. Even today, live on TikTok, I had big turds in my hand. But one famous Bigfoot turd is up in Tennessee, Georgia, the Expedition Bigfoot Museum. I filmed it, and I make a really funny joke about how that thing must have got into some Taco Bell or to Chipotle. But they have it in a glass case, and it is like 27. Excuse me, it's making me gag. It's 27 inches long or something like that. And
wait, hold on.
That guy was just pooping, and he was like walking.
I got it.
Well,
I gotta know.
I don't know, but dong has definitely been found. But if we're talking like DNA from poop, it's basically worthless, because just think how much DNA Sasquatch would eat in one day. And there is a lot of comparisons and contrasts about it. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Sasquatch would have to eat so much, to feed himself. He's so big. But Owlman, he's a connected man to Sasquatch, and a lot of other people that talk about big animals, they know how to work their digestive system. And a creature that knows when it can be pregnant, of course, knows how to work, how to energy food, just like Kim Jong-un. That guy doesn't even go to the bathroom. He works so hard. It just goes and evaporates. Me personally, I'm trying to work for that, but I think the Sasquatch definitely has his crap and pee under control. But they definitely use it as marking. I've smelled horrible urine out in the forest, and it definitely could be big cat like jaguar, panther, even bobcat, but sometimes I think it's Sasquatch. And maybe they can spray like cats and like skunks, and maybe they even have pouches like some birds and kangaroos, and if you look inside of that, it is really natural and
cozy,
protective and cozy, and you would think a creature that ultra evolves, it's definitely a possibility. But even if not, they're so big and so warm, man, you wonder. A real question, a real fun question would be, wonder what their body temperature is. So next time I'm going to try to just close my eyes and leave just like a thermometer. Put it under your tongue, homie.
Man, I would absolutely love to see like a regular sized toilet with a giant Bigfoot poop on it. Like, like
I have a question about the poop.
You're just walking through the forest, you see a regular sized toilet with big a big, what did you say? 18 inches?
It's 27, I think. 27. It's big. It's like a big glass case. So
put a big 27-inch poop on it. That'd be hilarious. Oh my god!
I have a question about the poop. Are we talking like log size, or is this like cow patty?
It's thick. Yeah, it's log size. I'm sure, depending on what they eat, I'm sure sometimes it comes out like a cow patty. I have heard they like lima beans, pawpaw leaves. Of course, they like red apples, meat they've taken from me. I've gifted many things. Pretty much all those things I just said, minus the pawpaw leaves. I haven't been able to get my hand on those. But cannabis, satsumas, which are seedless oranges. And what's crazy is this is the capital of the satsuma world. They tried growing it down South Florida. Doesn't get cold enough, and it has to get cold to get sweet. And they actually came from Asia and through the Louisiana port. So again, you got to think maybe the Rougarou from the Honey Island Swamp might be one of these Florida skunk apes mates because they're following the satsumas, y'all, the seedless oranges, the
Sweet fruit. I'm always following sweet fruit, man. Especially when I'm in the wild.
Yeah.
If I'm in the wild, I'm following the sweet fruit.
That's how you know Bigfoot and like skunk apes don't have HEBs, dude.
Yeah,
That's where we always go for good fruits.
it's the Texas home farm to market.
That's right, dude. They like
Connor, you probably don't even know about HEB. HEB is the best. I don't know if you know.
yeah, they
that.
send a guy
I
out
have
to a farm every morning to go pick stuff, and he comes back and puts it in those little crates.
It's like the big grocery store here in Texas. It's called HEB.
That's super fresh then. Kind of like Publix down here in Florida or Giant Eagle up in Ohio. Yeah, the fresh goods is where it's at, man. That's what's awesome because like I grew up with my grandparents' farm. Really not nearby, but close enough that we always had meat in the freezer and we always had vegetables. So I feel like luckily I didn't get hit by the Bill Gates, Bob Saget GMO stuff.
That
Bob
goddamn
Saget.
Bob Saget.
God damn it, he's still just ripping and ropping in his old age. Just fucking shit up, man. Damn.
If you spell Saget and Gates, it's the same words. And if you look at them nearby, it's like the Gemini man. We could get real weird.
I felt like that silence was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I definitely didn't know what I was talking about. Bob Saget, we're talking about
The guy that just died.
Yeah, dude.
You were thinking about Bob Barker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's who I thought I was talking
That
about.
goddamn
right.
Bob Barker. The price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah. I think that took place in Florida, at least some of the scenes, because there was that alligator that bit, old Carl's arm off.
Yeah, dude. Chubbs.
Yeah, good old Chubbs.
It's all in hips. What are you doing? Just easing attention, baby. Just easing attention. We'll go ease it on someone else. It's such a good movie.
Oh my god, dude! I'm looking at this Casper ghost, the Casper clip, the crumb cake, and it's making me laugh.
The crumb cake?
You want to play it?
Yeah, dude, do it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's
has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
piece of cake.
Yeah, it's a piece of cake, piece of.
There's no problem.
So tell me, you have experience.
I have quite a bit of experience. Not, like exactly doing it.
Go
but
hear it.
I've studied it.
Yeah.
And I talked to people who have done it. I've seen the videos. And I feel very confident that with my knowledge, I could do it, no problem.
Then you can handle this.
It's no problem. It's like no problem whatsoever. Piece of cake, piece of crumb cake.
I seen all the videos. It's no problem.
It's no problem. He looks like he's eating one of those seedless oranges.
It's the key, man. The
he's following
paranormal
it.
follows the seedless oranges. Even the seasons line up, they're
Right?
strongest in October when the veil is thin.
Yes.
What was that? Was it hummus?
Well, how did it go?
Oh, was fine. Was no problem. Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Oh, dude.
Oh, I forgot that Jan Aykroyd was in this. Oh my god.
Yeah, he was like, who are you going to call? Somebody else?
Yes, I totally forgot.
Father Guido Sarducci. I think that fool was a comedian.
call?
Dude, what a classic. I forgot
And then
about
this
that.
guy, he's like a Monty Python character. The
What?
the husband dude? Yeah.
Wow.
He's-
I love Terry Gilliam movies for
What do we
sure,
do
man.
now?
Like Zero Theorem, Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Did you guys see that one? Heath Ledger's final movie?
I didn't see Imaginarium.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
It's a good one, man. And all of
What's
his
it about?
movies are like super mental, good for LSD, Hawaiian baby wood rose seeds, mushrooms,
Yeah.
getting weird. Or if you haven't eaten in like 4 days straight, on zero theorem. You'll start calling everybody Bob.
Oh my god, you're like, yeah, dude. Most people are like, you ever seen that movie High? You would be like, you ever seen that movie after you haven't eaten after 4 days? Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's the best. You totally get it.
You get it.
For anybody
Speaking of-
that's into psychedelic cinema, definitely take some LSD and watch Enter the Void. That is a rite of passage. Literally, there's like Reddit threads that like support groups. Once you watch that and go through that, you're a different person and you're in a whole different club or clan or cult. But yeah, it's really crazy. And I'm big on cinema being like that gateway to maybe our true reality or magic, at least. Yes, this movie really F's you up. He's a drug dealer in Tokyo and he smokes DMT and then he gets killed. And then you go to different parts of his life, how it all cause and affected. And then you see what happened to his family and his sister and his friends and the guy that killed him and what would have happened if he didn't take that plot. It's really crazy. And the director really pushes your mind. He just made another movie like I forget what it's called right now, just because all the movies blend together, but it's about the one that they're ballet dancers and then they get locked in to a frozen area and then their punch gets spiked by LSD and they start killing each other. It's really great.
You're talking about Yellow Jackets where they're all soccer players and they get stuck out in the middle of nowhere.
I love Yellow Jackets too. That's an awesome. It's like Lost and Lord of the Flies put together. It's really cool
with some witchcraft.
Yes.
Dude, Yellow Jackets is dope, dude. Oh my god,
I'm gonna look up that title. You can maybe play a few clips or at least show. Yeah, there he is, of course, dying in the shower. Man.
I feel like this is one of those scenarios like Donnie Darko. Like once you see Donnie Darko, there's no going back. It just affects you for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Even just that title right there, one of the most mind-blowing and ambitious feature films. Like the way it's filmed, it goes through walls and stuff. It is wild. Oh, dang. I knew it was simple. Climax. And that's on like Amazon Prime. It's a more recent movie, but the same guy made Climax. And man, that really throws you for a loop. But yeah, Enter the Void. Definitely if you're into cinema, if you're into psychedelics, if you're into pushing your mind beyond, it's like some of the movie is foreign and it has subtitles and you understood it. Like language is just another barrier, man.
There's some girls on there.
I think the last foreign movie that I saw was Possum. That was a crazy movie. That was a wild one. I don't know. It was like this dude who had like this puppet. It was like this creepy like head with like spider arms on it. And like something happens in his childhood. I won't give it away, but like this puppet is like representation of like the baggage that he's been holding on because he keeps trying to destroy this creepy puppet and it keeps showing up in his room. Yeah, dude, that one. Dude, Possum. That's so creepy.
I've seen TikToks about this.
Yeah. It is weird.
Father.
Hello.
Oh. Ah!
Yeah.
Bro!
Yeah. And it's a puppet that he made. He's a ventriloquist. Yeah. And he made that like when he was a kid.
He made what?
He made that puppet when he was like a kid.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really well made. Bravo.
It's creepy.
It's like Slender Man vibes though. It's like
very
summoning that creature from the night.
Very, dude. Yeah.
I gotta watch this one. I might have mentioned it on my Gypsy Road podcast that we talked about spider movies. A really cool one that people don't expect is Enemy, that Jake Gyllenhaal movie about a doppelganger. It somehow connects to spiders too. So yeah, definitely watch that. I love it.
What is
man.
it called?
I knew you guys were awesome once I started asking if you guys watch Resident Alien, and you're like, yeah.
Dude, there was something we were talking about earlier that like totally connected to Resident Alien, and I almost said, it was about the Pascagoula case where the main there's like an AI that's in the room, but it was like kind of like an eyeball. Is that not exactly like Resident? You know what, dude? I'm so sorry. I'm dumb. I'm mixing that up with People of Earth.
People of Earth. I was gonna say,
I'm sorry.
I've seen that somewhere else, but I don't know. But
Yeah.
Once you, with a lot of TV shows and you're watching it after midnight, it all starts to blend together, and it blends with your dreams and your old podcasts that you recorded already. It's a wild life. So I know what you mean, but yes, I see and felt that connection, because Pascagoula is crazy, guys. Everybody, Pascagoula River alien incident and whatever's on the ground that zapped the crap out of me.
Dude. Man, I've always wanted to figure out, like, when it comes to like these UFO cases, like Michael Schrad always has that cool one about the Michelin Man. I want to know so much about those guys. Like, why do y'all look like Michelin men? Like, what's the deal? Where you guys come from? Like, you always hear about like the different kinds, and like these dudes like are pretty wild and like
and fluffy. And fun. It seems like they would have to have fun personalities to be so. I mean,
it almost makes you think if like they see things here and they're like, look, they're not gonna understand what we look like, so we're just gonna look like this. And like maybe they were just floating through space or something and caught a commercial, and they're like, oh, the brand you know and trust, Michelin. Let's show up as Michelin Man. They're gonna know and trust us immediately. And then little do they know, they show up and everybody's like, what the fuck is that, a Michelin Man?
And they won't stop laughing at us. We try to tell them serious stuff, and they just keep giggling under their breath.
You guys might be onto something, though, because our friend Tangi that we recently had on our Gypsy Road show, she has like an alien friend or guardian angel, and she has pictures of this thing, and it looks like a gray alien. It's clear as day in the pictures. It's amazing. It's literally online and public. I'll show it on my community page down the line or something. But she actually said that whole thing is a suit, because yes, they can't even be seen in this realm or to our eyes. So they kind of meet us halfway with a suit. And then what you said is awesome. That kind of reminded me of like Bumblebee using like the radio, kind of trying to meet us halfway. So I definitely think they try to, not try to kill us of fear or make us pass out. But again, they can definitely control our minds, at least the good ones. With telekinesis. But of course, everything takes a lot of training. And I'm sure there's a lot of people, we all saw Inception. You could take classes to protect your mind, even when you're dreaming. So I love those kind of ideas that really throw you for a loop for this reality. And then you start to see it all kind of unfold. Oh, it's amazing.
Dude, I sometimes feel like I have this ability to just completely shut my mind off. So, like, if anybody ever tried to, like, read my mind, that would be, like, my special power. They'd be like, we have to send Joe in because that fool can literally think of zero. Like, he can think of nothing. He's a superhero.
You're the lock and key for all secrets.
Yeah. They're like, he just shuts it off. I don't know how he does it.
Do you sleep good?
I sleep like shit.
Just because you always hear people that have, like, sleeping problems. They're like, man, I just can't get my mind to chill, I just wake up early and then let that gas tank run out and just pass out with the lights and projector on.
I feel like that's why, though, like, I'm so good at just turning my brain off, because I feel like my brain turns on at nighttime, and like, I don't know, like, maybe I'm already a light sleeper, so like maybe subconsciously I'm like physically interacting with my dreams all night long because I'm still kind of here, but I need to sleep. And then like I wake up the next day and I'm just like, all right, I'm here. Shutting this thing off for 20 minutes.
I recently learned about the Victorian era. I don't know, maybe this is the only time it was recorded, but it was a common thing to go to sleep when the sun went down and then wake up around like 11 o'clock midnight.
Yeah.
And then just hang out, maybe have some tea or cookies, and just hang out for a few hours and then go back to sleep at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, there's 2 sleep cycles.
Yeah, I did not know that until very recently.
Yeah. Isn't that where it came? The like breakfast came from, because there was like a break fast that you had in between, so you could, you would stay up and you go to sleep, but then you would wake up and you wouldn't eat, so that was like your break fast. So the next time you woke up, that's when you ate after your, and that's like where the term comes from. I think I'm linking the two things correctly. I think I could be wrong, but.
Or is it a fast break by Reese's? It's a delicious
different
bar.
Yeah, no, this was Victorian age.
I like that, though, and it's in the words, because we spell words. We are all witches with our spells, and we write in cursive. it's amazing, you know, when you break it down to the words. But yeah, that's truly amazing, because I've been trying to preach, you know, siestas, and I want a midday nap so I can, you know, write something down for free when I wake up, because when you wake up, man, you get that free energy. So stay away from lights, stay away from your phone, get a journal, just jot it down, and see who you are in the morning, and take that time to just really take it to yourself before you give yourself to that world. And I want to stress that to everybody and myself, because we're always just like, oh, let's get after it. But no, slow down a little bit. You know, this is your life.
I'm a grumpy bastard every morning. Every morning. I'm like, no.
Traveling with Joe is it's such a blast. I mean, honestly, like, it's so
I'll sleep
funny.
anywhere though.
It's so funny, dude. Like, you in the morning, Joe, you're like completely different person. We've done a lot of traveling together throughout the years, and like, it's so funny. Joe, like, in the morning, just a man of very few words. And if you say the word bacon, oh, he's up and out of bed and talking and ready to go.
Yeah,
coffee and bacon,
yeah.
dude.
I don't want to wake up unless somebody's cooking bacon. Right?
You smell it.
You need the motivation to get going.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So, dude, you were talking about like words and how people use phrases and stuff. That was kind of cool. I feel like you latched onto that, and I just recently watched or listened to a podcast, Ryan Bledsoe's podcast. It's awesome if you guys haven't listened to it. But he was kind of touching on this, where I think it's so crazy that we look back at the way that words are spelled, and they all come like kind of from the same languages, like Latin, some Greek, and they're all like rooted in these certain things. Like, I just watched my wife's favorite movie, Big Fat Greek Wedding, where like he can relate any word and root it back to Greek. I just think that's so fascinating. And when you bring in this like occult side, we're like, okay, so they actually can do stuff? Like, certain words can alter reality? Like, is that magic? Like, how do people not know about this yet?
Yeah, dude. The wasn't it? I think it was that dude Nick Redfern. He wrote that book Bloodline, maybe Bloodline of the Gods, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah,
and he was talking about how like every language relates back to something except for the Basque people out in the Basque region, and they're known for having like the highest percentage of redheads, and their language isn't derivative of anything else. It's like its own thing. And it's one of the oldest languages that like people still speak actively, but even like other languages that have been translated throughout history all have like a root or a connection. And this one doesn't. Like it's its own thing. And so, you know,
that's cool.
You go into the whole like, oh, were these the first manipulated people? This is maybe where they came from. Like they all have like that blood type. It's like the highest percentage in the entire world, and they're all redheads, and they have this crazy language that doesn't relate to anybody in the entire world. What the hell are those people doing? Like, how did they get here? And how did the rest of us get here? And why are we all connected except for those people? What's up with that?
Dude, I want to know. I feel like Big Willie is exactly the prototype of this person, by the way. So you brought this up a couple episodes ago, Joe. Like this, what was the name of the place where they were from? Can you remember? Or
I maybe like BACH. I know it's the Basque region or Basque. It's near
Basque
like
region.
Spain, I guess. I want to feel like there's a relation to the Anglais Mountain region. I'm not sure if that's even in the same part of the world.
Basque Country with QUE.
Ah, there you go.
They're all wearing chef hats. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I don't see red. Nope, wrong one. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
The redheaded giants are pretty interesting in Lovelock Cave. That's a really cool thing out on the West Coast about how the Native Americans had to go on battles against these giants, and they ended up smoking them out. And then the Humboldt Museum actually has like 3 or 4 of their giant skulls up recently. They had new ownership, so they put it underground. But yeah, man, it's really cool hearing all the stories of the red-haired beast. So maybe there is some kind of connection to the Boss people and the people with no binds to their language. It's pretty interesting. Sasquatch, of course, has their own language. It's called samurai chatter, and it's tongue clicks and indigenous words, grunts, and also just loud grunts, kind of like a samurai master, how they do it. There's different theories about how the Asians worked on the railroads in the early Americas, and maybe the beast, heard it from them. But I think it goes way beyond them, and that is just maybe goes to the Great Wall of China and the Battle of Dragons, and even in the Mummy 3, the Yeti and the Abominable Snowman is really close to the monks and the Buddhists. So it's very interesting seeing the combination of the Himalayan giants and people themselves, and then even in America, the Hoopa tribe, and then them living with the giants. And David Plays wrote a book about it, but that's in the Bluff Creek area, that same plateau.
Dude, yeah.
You know what's really fascinating I've been thinking about lately is there were so many people here in the United States before Europeans and Spaniards came here. Like they were doing fine. There were a lot more of them. It is crazy. My buddy was telling me about this podcast called like Twisted History or something. And it kind of goes into like the Native American tribes that just covered the entire United States. I mean, earlier you were talking about like burial mounds, America Before with Graham Hancock, that book. I don't know if you've read that one. So interesting, dude. Like tying back in these lineages of everybody's human in some sort of way, right? If we talk about humans, we've got to be related, if not the same exact genealogy, but just a little tweak here and there, right? And then just like people, I don't know. I love the idea that they were doing just fine here. But it really sucks to we just like came and said, hey, well, we live here now. Anyway, that kind of went on like a bummer note, but
good job, dude.
Sorry, dude. I'm just saying, like, there's like so much happening here in the Americas that we just don't know about. But I'm so curious to learn.
Well, also though, if there's so much going on that we don't know about, do we know they were doing just fine?
No, I guess.
I mean, it could have like totally like been like really shitty. They were like, you know what? We're not doing fine right now.
We
like,
do not have
really
free
hard.
health. They still didn't have free health care.
Still, it's
They
been a
were
long
definitely
time.
savages, but they were definitely closer to Mother Earth than us. And they didn't have all the petty distractions and some of the evil stuff that has transcended in modern humanity. But what I love is, where did the Native Americans get their spirituality from? Where did they get their medicine from? How did they learn all about that? And that's where it comes into the sun worshipers, the mound builders, the race of giants that pretty much has been found in all the known lands. And I've narrated over 10 hours worth of articles that have been in newspapers decades apart, front page, back page, side column, this state, that country. So back in the day, it was just news, and they had correlations in details, how they'd be in a seated position facing the east, covered in rubies and copper, surrounded by precious other gems. It's a beautiful thing. And even Abraham Lincoln talked about Niagara Falls was flowing even before the race of giants existed. And it's crazy that, so much has been swept under the rug. And Smithsonian, just evaporated most of it to dust. But I will still, stand tall with the mound builders and Land of the Giants. His thing is Giants of Ancient America on Instagram. He has found over 1,000 newspaper articles. And even if 95% of them are BS, 5% are still real, but all the correlations, they are accurate. And I'm from Ohio, land of 10,000 mounds. Has the serpent mound and all the other ones that correlate. They align with the the summer solstice and the winter equinox. And it's a beautiful thing and powerful thing. Down in the Ohio Valley, Moundsville and Wheeling, right by my grandparents' house, they have a giant mound that they found large skeletons out of, and there's pictures of them that go up to 11 feet tall, 12 feet tall.
Damn.
And it's right across the street from the most haunted prison in America, the Moundsville Penitentiary, where Charles Manson's mom was captured. That's where, or not captured, but held. And then little Charlie grew up there. And that ground is on a Native American burial site. So they were, beheading guys and put them in the electric chair on the site, harvesting all these energy. It gets super weird. But down here, I hang out at the Chattahoochee Mound complex a lot. There's one central mound and then 6 in a semicircle around it. Same thing. It aligns with the moon and sun. Every 28 days, the moon and sun create, a perfect little infinity sign. And of course, women, their cycle is every 28 days. So if you really get in tune, you can be a lunatic, someone getting lunar energy. But yes, the mound builders are the most important thing. But the bridge to the mound builders is the Native Americans. And I wonder why they're getting rid of the Washington Redskins and the Cleveland Indians. They're trying to evaporate a whole race of people. So it's like pale-faced people found America, because they've already stole America once, because the mound builders had America, and then the Native Americans, and then Christopher Columbus, he's still never even been to America. It doesn't even exist.
Christopher Columbus
so guys,
sucks,
the establishment is silly. If you believe the government, come on, grow up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we all know Columbus Day was established in the 50s, man.
Yeah, man.
It's ridiculous. Dude, hold on, Ben, take it. My mind
I was
just
gonna say something dumb.
something just slipped my mind. I had a really good question. God dang it. I do this all the time.
I remember one of the first history tests I failed in school in Escuela growing up, and one of them was like the answer was Christopher Columbus. And I think I wrote down like that dude about clouds, something like that cloud guy. Like that was my answer. Yeah, and I got it wrong. It was not. I was thinking we were taking cloud classes at the same time. Anyway,
Cloudumbus.
There's like a word that's very close to Columbus. I like slipping my mind right now.
Cumulus,
dude.
Yeah, dude. Cumulus clouds are tight.
They are tight.
I like them. Yeah.
Did you think of what you were trying to think of?
No, I didn't. We went down so many paths there for a second. I can't remember now.
Definitely happens. Today I was filming some chemtrails and then my file corrupted. So, man, I'm scared of the freaking light bulbs once in a while. So I feel bad once I can really unfold on some people. Like EF Bud and Flat Rock Booger, they're in the chats right now. They've, camped with me and they've heard some of my far out stuff. So they hear a million miles per hour, but they also see the cold me in the morning, after a bowl rip and just with my hoodie, and with the hood closed with the 2 pouches. So it's funny, the yin and the yang, of course.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm always thinking outside the box because, once you do 7 hits of LSD, they say you're clinically insane. So, I'm already like 12-fold of that.
Crazy, man.
And then, you crack your neck hard enough, you start really, tripping a little bit.
Yeah,
and
you start flashing back in HEB.
Yep. And then the electricity goes off in your mind, and then that brings in the elementals and the cryptids, because you got to think that the Native Americans, the ancient people of all the other continents, when they were around a fire, when they were playing music, they were using those parts of their brain, and these creatures, they could see vibration, so it's going to just bring it towards it. So I'm big on testing the waters with that. There's a really cool tea you can make with Hawaiian baby wood rose seeds. You can buy them legally, and the ancient people used to actually drink the tea, and you kind of get sick, but you can communicate with the other side. And I've definitely had some spiritual and cryptid experiences through that, but of course that is for us warriors out there.
Yeah.
But I just want to open doors for people to know that there's other avenues of thinking and research, and that's what we're definitely trying to push forward, because that's what the ancient people were all about, was vibrations, and we're getting so far away from that in modern time. So again, we're just trying to remember from where we once were.
Yeah, dude, I ate a handful of morning glory seeds one time, and that was crazy.
Yes,
Like my
Hawaiian
stomach
baby
hurts
wood
so
rose
bad.
is the same, molecule. So that's
Yeah.
awesome, bro.
Yeah, I was like, oh, my stomach hurts so bad. And then all of a sudden, there was all these damn colors everywhere. And I was like, oh, and it lasted for like 15, 20 minutes. And then it went away. I was like, oh, man, it was a lot of pain for like just that 20 minutes. But it was so cool at the same time. It got real hot, I've never like done peyote, but I've heard people explain it to me. And it sounded almost the exact same. Like, it was wild, dude. It was wild. But dude, so down there on the Chattahoochee, I hear it's hotter than a hoochie coochie. Can you confirm or deny that?
Yes, hotter than a hoochie coochie, and then you swim in the water, and then there's gators that are bigger than your boat, so you're kind of screwed either way. When I go across the Apalachicola, which is connected to the Chattahoochee, when I'm on that Torreya bank and my mom's fishing across the other side, I always like imagine a skunk ape coming at me, and I'm like, do I battle the skunk ape, or do I try to swim across? Because of course he's going to take me out in a kayak, so I gotta swim, battle the gators. Do I rather die from an alligator or get smashed by a skunk ape? I don't know. I always get caught in the moment and just beeline it towards my mom.
Yes, dude.
Let her get a good view of me before he rips me from the inside.
Oh, man.
Have you guys ever seen Bone Tomahawk? Another good Bigfoot movie. It's a Western with Kurt Russell. A lot of people say it's not a Bigfoot movie. I say troglodytes. Those are cave monsters, man. But yeah, it's a modern Western. And it is creepy, but it's glorious and infamous for one of its deaths. And it really just picks someone apart. But yeah, you can see kind of the Bigfoot type creatures on the fourth image right there. Yeah, they have these holes right here that they put horns and they call to each other. It's really cool. And in the beginning zone, David Arquette is in it and Sid Haig, rest in peace. Both of them are robbers. And then they go in this forbidden land and then they get hunted down by this creature. Yeah, Sid Haig's in it too. But Kurt Russell, man, he's a legend, of course. Matthew Fox, my favorite character from Lost, Jack from Lost. Patrick Wilson, who is the main character in The Conjuring.
He's got great wine, too. Matthew Fox, great wine.
Matthew Fox does, bro.
He's got a wine, dude. At HEB, it's like $5.
Wine, right when Joe was showing me, or mentally showing me, his wine bottle collection in his room. I can't even walk anywhere without knocking into one. So I'm like, okay, Matthew Fox wine. I'm not too much into wine, but I'm definitely gonna get into it.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. You get your little smoke and a whole lot of wine. You have a good night.
Hell yeah, that sounds right up my alley. I'm down for it.
Yeah, it's good, dude. You got to come visit us, man. You got to come down. We'll go see if we can find the frogman down here at Granger Lake, dude. We'll go hiking out here, like, dude, the Guadalupe Mountain. We'll go down to Big Bend. Like, there's so many cool places that we could go. Let's do it.
Dude, I'm down. I love it. How far are you guys from like New Orleans, or what part of Texas are you guys in? Tyler, Dallas,
Central.
Austin.
Okay, so
yeah, about 8 hours.
Yeah, well, we can meet up, or I'll come all the way out there for like a week or so. But I am down for an adventure. I'll bring my GoPro camera, my strange vibes, and a pocket full of psilocybin or something.
Well, dude,
but yeah, that would be freaking legendary.
Ben's got some family out in East Texas.
I've got a family in Anahuac, Texas. I don't know if you know where that is.
We can meet halfway.
Yeah, dude, we can meet Anahuac, dude. It's such an awesome little town.
It sounds wild. It sounds like Marowak or whatever, the Pokemon,
Yeah, dude.
But I just want to shout out a legend that's in our chat right now. His name is Flat Rock Booger. I think all you guys will love his story. He is in Evergreen, Alabama, the town that loved Bigfoot. There's actually a documentary that goes to that forefront. But that place is kind of like the Bluff Creek of Alabama. And a lot of people don't know that Alabama is like the Amazon of America. It has so many waterways. But he has like a bunch of security cameras and voice recorders out there, and he has recorded Sasquatch knocking on the side of his house, shadows walking on the front porch. He didn't get it recorded, but one actually opened up his door and put his head inside, and then started screaming outside of that. And you can tell what happened, but of course, it's just the angle is not on that. But I've shared his videos on my TikTok, and one reached like 4.8 or 4.5 million views, and it's just super legendary. And he has activity all the time. Great channel, but awesome dude. He shared a table with me at the Pace Great Florida Bigfoot Conference and Race, and he was playing all these sounds that, man, you can give them to vocal professionals and it would tell you that, you know, human being vocal capacities can't reach those reaches. And sadly, they've lost a dog, a family dog, to these creatures, but luckily they do keep their distance for the most part, and they've kind of have a symbiotic relationship. But it's really cool how the paranormal world can link you with real life friends. And he gave me a cot that I use when I camp, and we camped up on Big Frog Mountain in Tennessee, and we went to the conference back-to-back years. And as you guys could see behind me, I was a featured speaker at the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference this past month, and it was freaking legendary. I had that whole place upside down and rocking. You know, they didn't know what hit them. They just kept clapping for me after each of my phrases because they didn't know what else to freaking do. It was hilarious, but I was like, trying to rile people up and let people know the skunk ape exists, and all of us, you know, Floridians and Florida men definitely know that. So don't come down here in our swamp and skepticism. Like, it's fair to, you know, think outside the box and maybe question stuff, but the skunk ape exists. There is DNA. We have found hair. There is saliva. There is greasy handprints. You know, watch Finding Bigfoot. Check some reports. Cryptids Canada. How to hunt. Search my TikTok. Like, it's all easy, accessible now, and people are just so lazy to open outside the box, you know?
Yeah.
I'm big on there might be more of these creatures than there are of us. And people think I'm crazy for that, but we don't cover any ground on this earth. And we live in skyscrapers and little doomsday bunkers, 80 feet deep. Come on, man. Miles. How many feet are in a mile? Like 9,000 or something? So let's just say 12 miles. Okay, that is a lot of real estate to work with. And then subterranean caves, portals, and think about the octopus man, you know? Come on, they can go through a little quarter-sized hole. So cryptids, creatures, spirits, it is all closer to home than we could ever think. You know, the Grinch, the Tooth Fairy, Shrek, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Harry Pothead. It's all right there. Come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, the amount of ground that
I'm so inspired, like
to cover some of these areas, especially whenever you get really deep in there. I mean, you could literally spend 8 hours going 3 miles. You know, it just takes forever.
Oh, we know how many feet are in a mile, but how many big feet are in a mile?
That's the question, right? Yeah.
Because, and then you're following it for 7,000 feet, and then they just disappear. They vanish. Where did the creature go? That is the
into a freaking portal.
Question. 100%. And I have casted footprints. This we believe is a small female. It is very similar to the female ones they found in the 400. I discovered this while we were scouting for the Void Cat. On footage, we recorded 2 hours of all around this area, Florida, and then we get down in this cave and we find one footprint and we cast it, and it's actually going up a bank. So I got the foot and the banks, the scrapping of the feet, and it's really, really cool. You can see the specific, pretty much like dermal ridges, the fingerprints of the feet. But when we were discovering it, and he's filming me, Jack McClellan's filming me, there's electrical interference, and it just is hitting. And I've actually got comments on that video saying it might be possible code, like Morse code. The video blew up. It got like 30,000 views on TikTok, and it was really cool. And then I casted it the next day, and that was like a really terrifying experience because I had to go after work, you know, in the dark, the day after I know that a creature's down here in the cave. It's really crazy. This is a recent one that I did, and it is a small one. This is the size of my hand, so I definitely think it is a young one. And I mark it with this little leaf, but it is super cool to get different sizes of these creatures. And then my most recent one, and I casted this one live on TikTok for a bunch of people. And that's what I'm big on. You know, all these TV shows are real cool, but it's like years after the discovery, and they are filming in Oregon and they tell us it's in Minnesota. Like, God dang, you know, I'm live and direct, mixing the casting supplies out of my Taco Bell cup, you know, come on. But yeah, this one is pretty cool. Definitely not as specific, but the view of it on the ground, you could see it was a good footprint. But you can see the outline. You can kind of see an indentation for the mid-tarsal break. But I'm not big on the camp that every Sasquatch footprint has to have a mid-tarsal break, because that kind of shows like the monkey man thing. And these things come in all different shapes and sizes. Dogs, guys. Dalmatians, Chihuahuas, Great Danes, all them gonna look a little different, you know, footprint, crap, and how it looks. So it's all different variations. If you look at pictures of the Mayaca skunk ape, the two ones of the fang, the snout, kind of orangutan looking creature, that looks really different than Patty in Bluff Creek. And then that looks a lot different than West Virginia turquoise and Sasquatch, her channel. She has these creatures on her property. They climb on her roof and then look through her skylights, and it's clear photographs. And everybody that knows me in real life, I love showing really good photographs to them in real life, just because I love spreading that awareness. And when there's panels saying there's no good Sasquatch photographs, people always message me and say, yo, you got the ones. But I'm glad people are coming forward, and it takes brave people out here in the woods, just like right now, officially Forest of Monsters. Homeboy Rick Ragnarok, Michael, he's out in the Tennessee mountains using his special abilities to bring in these creatures. And let's just hope Spearfinger doesn't, you know, stick it where the sun don't shine.
Yes.
Spearfinger. I don't even know about that one.
Cherokee legend. Really scary. Tennessee, Virginia mountains, Appalachian Trail, you know. Oh, man. You got the feral people hunting you down, wrong turns, filming a scene right here. You got West Virginia dragons. And then, of course, all the different primates or weird creatures, the hairy men. But there are a lot of cool stories. One came from Katie Flynn in the 1800s. Maybe she's my long-lost cousin or something. I don't know. Long-lost sister. But she was actually taken by a creature overnight. And she said it was a big dog, and the only thing that ever happened to her was it chewed off one of her shoes, but it kept her warm through the night. And there's dozens of those stories. But there's also countless stories like Dennis Martin, where a big hairy creature, you know, took him off in the woods, and we never saw him again. And then Jared Adadero, he was asking local fishermen and rivermen if there's bear in the area, and then he disappeared. So I think he probably saw one of these creatures. NFL player Cullen Finnerty, he said that two dark creatures were following him. He was found dead shortly after. Henry McCabe, strange recordings on his voicemail, samurai chatter, weird crap. It's public too. People say he was being tortured. You know, I'm open to it all. I'm just trying to open doors to people. I'm not preaching. I'm just trying to make people feel comfortable on their midnight research, and they're not alone. BF Bud, Tyler Howell, Daniel Lundy, y'all know you're not alone. I'm fighting with y'all, you know? Send me your craziest theories. I'll bounce it off one with some correlation. But there is a lot of people definitely going missing out in the woods. One cool story is Trapper Bauman that we always heard about. And one good theory is Teddy Roosevelt is actually Trapper Bauman, and he wrote it as one of his friends through like a third person, just so that he could have like a successful career. But if you do a deep dive, he hunted these creatures and he pushed them to the national parks. So again, Teddy Roosevelt is a freaking hero. The Fitzgerald family, though, is close to me. So I've went to Dallas and checked out where, you know, our country was changed forever. In the grassy knoll, and was it the driver? What did he shoot himself? I have no idea, man. Things get really weird. Maybe it's a body double. But I love, you know, soaking into history. All the books that taught us. I'm trying to find like the true story behind it. You know, I feel like the path has kind of been shown to me, but I gotta walk it. You know, Stephen King, R.L. Stein, sit down at this table with me right now.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. Hell
Hell
yeah,
yeah,
man.
dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will follow you into any wilderness right now. I'm following you,
Hype.
bro. Let's
So
go.
hype right now.
I'm bringing
That's
a
the energy we
flashlight.
have to keep when there's alligators and rhesus monkeys
Dude.
up in the air. You
Dude,
guys
I
know
will-
about the monkey race in Florida, of course,
will-
because they brought them over for the jungle cruise, over in Silver Springs near Ocala. And they put them on an island because there's going to be exotic, little thing for the cruise. It was going to be like, oh, there's some monkeys. Well, within 30 minutes, they swam over to the mainland and they took it over. And there is some crazy footage of them jumping down on kayakers, and they're very
Dude.
dangerous because they
Is
have
this
bacteria and stuff.
Yeah.
And one bite will be the end of you. So you got manatees, alligators, monkeys, and then they filmed Creature from the Black Lagoon down in Wakulla. So the Gill Man, it all really does connect. And just in this panhandle radius, we got the Ocheesee Pond Wildman, the one that was captured, Torreya Titans, the Rocky Creek Rodbender, which is a gray giant sloth type creature. We have the the short-faced bear, which is I guess like a cave bear and a type of Bigfoot creature out in Chipley, which they have the Falling Waters hooded Sasquatch. And I actually did an investigation there recently with my mom, and a woman saw this hooded Sasquatch going after her and her dog. So I was going sinkhole to sinkhole, whooping and yelling down there, leaving marbles and cannabis for offerings and bait, trying just to sink in and use maybe echolocating or trying to at least bridge to them and let them know that I am no threat. I am a brother. I am kin. Even if you're a descendant of Cain, I am a descendant of Eve. We can find peace.
Yeah, do you ever think about do you ever worry about the scenario what was it, that grizzly bear movie where they end up eating him, where he really becomes one with those bears and then they just eat him.
Grizzly
one day.
Man.
Grizzly Man, there you go. You ever worry about those scenarios when you go out there and you're like, yes, all right, we're gonna do that, and no matter the amount of positive energy coming off of you, bro, they may just see you as a snack one day, You're like, damn.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just 2 nights ago, live on TikTok, I felt like I was being hunted, but I said it wasn't probably the Sasquatch. I didn't feel like it was a Sasquatch. I felt like it was a crazy man, maybe a bootlegger, maybe a hunter that was mad I was in his spot because it was nighttime. But then there's also a story of a headless ghost, and he's constantly looking for what he lost. And after I had some time to reflect, I felt like it was a crazy man hunting me. And I got it all on video on my GoPro and live on TikTok. And I actually found structures on the ground that looked like Blair Witch and Squatch in South Florida. And I didn't put that together. I just thought it was just a tree structure, and I was disconnected from all that. And then we talked the next morning. He's like, bro, that was like Blair Witch. And I'm like, man, honestly, it was. But I felt like I was being hunted by a crazy person. A couple times on video, I've woken up homeless people in abandoned trailers, and one time under a bridge. So when I have a knife on me, it's mostly for people, just if they're going to latch onto me. But there is panthers, big cat, bear, and then of course skunk ape. But a skunk ape will smash me or zap me before that. And Cullen Finnerty, was NFL star and a lot stronger than me. And they took him out with pneumonia. So if they want to, they can. So there is no fight back to these ancient ones unless you're just over the shoulder and you just stab them in the back of the head. You're going to get hunted down anyway and probably beat up. But anything like that is definitely for feral people, homeless people, criminals, and then large animals. But I am very safe with that. In Tennessee, I was with Tristan Smith from Hidden Relief, and we thought we were being hunted down by a Sasquatch or dogmen because a lot happened over that weekend. Old Bear's Den, he was one of the hosts. He has a YouTube channel. He's an old minister from West Virginia, really tough guy. I will dare a skeptic to say whatever to him. I dare you. But he said that he has killed 3 Sasquatches, and 2 was contracted by a farmer, and then another one he protected a blonde woman from being kidnapped. Janice Carter, she has a connection with Sasquatch. There's a book called 50 Years with Bigfoot, written by Mary Green about Janice's grandfather. Janice's grandfather was a Native American, spoke 6 different native languages. He found a little Sasquatch in the woods crushed by a fallen tree. He named it Fox. He thought it was a little baby, like deformed, because when they're young, they don't have that much hair. Brought him inside, and then it tore up inside. So they built a stall inside a barn. That got tore up a couple days later by Fox's parents. A couple weeks or months, maybe a couple years, not sure, short period of time. His parents abandoned him, but Fox stayed in the area. Fox and the grandfather built a relationship, and they even have pictures of them like holding hands, and they have language like Haba means wolf, Nok means friend. There's a lot. There's tons of translations. I say them in a lot of my videos, and I like to just test the boundaries, you know. But Janice Carter was a friend of that camp out too, but she was told by the Sasquatch that Old Bear's Den has killed Sasquatch. So that is known through the Squatch community, I guess, you know, literally like Sasquatch knows this man is a Sasquatch hunter. So Tristan and I were the youngest guys of the whole camp out that this old man is hosting. And the last night we had this strange feeling because we went out after midnight and there ended up being a huge storm, but it was one of our shortest hikes. And we got out right before the storm because we felt like we were being hunted. And I had like a really negative attitude. Like I was saying things like, man, I ain't got time for this. Like I was just taking like the pansy coward, easiest rhetoric out. You know, I was not myself. And then Tristan always calls it his spider senses. So we got back to the camp out, and then a couple of the tents actually said they had heavy activity. Flat Rock Booger, Blue Eyed Northern, Joe Parker, a couple of them, of course, been in the chat. They had acorns and sticks being dropped off the cliff by these creatures. And the year before, they were actually rushed out early by Janice because she felt that, the Sasquatch told her that dogmen were coming in and really angry because it was like Labor Day or some kind of holiday situation, that all the creatures of the woods would come and ravage the garbage cans, but all the humans were there like one extra day and they were just set on that schedule. So they were just needing to get those garbage cans, all that garbage. So it's just really crazy. So we felt like we were going to be the fall guys, the two young guys. We felt like the Sasquatch were going to make an example out of us. So that's the only time I was like super scared of like Sasquatch killing me. One time at Torreya State Park, I was filming with my GoPro and something was wading through the creek and you could hear it, something big. And that time I was like scared to death, like not like of dying, but I was just like, it's down there. Like I don't want to break its ground, you know? And the guy I was with was a war veteran who is a little loopy. He was like trying to climb down a fallen tree because it's all hurricane damage on a cliffside. He was like trying to climb downward. And I've been in locations that you can't get out of, like sinkholes and holes that you have to wait for somebody. Even like hay bales back in the day, like 2 high hay bales, you need your cousin to get you out. And I was not going for it. And you can hear how quiet I am, and I do like a short interview after, and I'm trembling. And then like a couple weeks after, we have a boulder be thrown behind us on a different part of the path. And that time, like I took that as a fair warning, not 1 ounce of fear. It was more like, okay, let's just keep our pace up. Like I'm done sitting down right now. So each situation is its own, but I've definitely been terrified by men, you know, and had bangs on my trailer from lunatics. And after Hurricane Michael, there was looters because people had generators, and then you would need gasoline for a generator, and you can't store gasoline inside, so you have to store it outside. So people are going house to house. Like I've seen monsters in men. I've seen monsters in myself, you know, like that's the thing about doing psychedelics and depersonification. You have to kill the worst parts of you to try to move forward, and you have to cleanse all your, you know, insecurities and your vulnerabilities and that baggage you carry with you. You have to free yourself, and that's a daily thing you have to go through. And in those early mornings when I'm waking and baking, gotta, you know, shake it off.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You said something about like throwing boulders, and I've heard of this before where like there's like a warning shot, or maybe there's like sticks being banged up against trees. I feel like that would, you said it gave you a sense of comfort. It would me too, because it's like at least they didn't kill me. They could have done a lot worse.
Yeah.
And that's like
predators
a
don't
lot
warn
of
you. You know, a
Yeah,
mountain lion
exactly.
isn't going to be like, "Hey, mother effer, I'm coming." It just pounces for your
Exactly.
jugular. You know, so these creatures at least have that sense, and they definitely know that the Green Beret and all hell is going to break loose if a human being goes missing. And Owlman has talked about they have a strict code that they can't harm humans. That's why they're so mimicky and raven mockers and jokesters with us. But also, you know, the story of the Ohio Grassman and all these other rogue Sasquatches, they don't give a dang about no Sasquatch ethics code. They coming for your neck. And I feel like that's what's happened to a lot of the missing 401 people, but not everyone is Bigfoot, of course. Some are alien abduction, some are electrical situations, anomalies. There's weird stories of people going into caves in Pennsylvania and then waking up like a year later in California in like perfect health. And then other stories kind of like Coraline, that you meet like an evil version of your grandma with button eyes. It's really, really strange.
Yeah.
So again, like the Montana Vortex, that's a place that you could go to. You walk across like a cement or wood straight plank and your body will actually change shape. So again, that wave and particle form, you can see it in front of your eyes. Like, yeah, I'm 6 foot, but I could be 5'8" in Montana. Like, let me in.
Is that little board that has the 2 measuring sticks on each side? And you can always take a picture, like there's a tall guy and then a short person, they switch, and then that short person is taller than the tall guy, but it's the same height.
Yep, and there's examples like that in all weird places, you know. Right here in Chattahoochee, there's a place called the Enchanted Forest, and they call it the Skinwalker Ranch of Florida. The woman was the main subject of a Finding Bigfoot episode, and she says she's an ancient deity of like old times, like an ancient alien, basically, and that's what's bringing in these extraterrestrials, these little people, and these elementals and the Sasquatch, and it's super wild. And then another buddy of mine, Donnie Miller from Standing Goats Rescue. I've been waiting for this. I was super excited because UFO, this is like a cool UFO story. My buddy Donnie Miller, he was abducted by aliens with his family when he was riding on a highway in Alabama. And then he broke his wrist a couple of years later. And the doctor said, "Sir, you have like a metal bar in your arm." And they wanted to cut into it and look into it. And his mom wouldn't let him. And now that he's a grown man, he's like thinking, about researching and investigating into it. But he has had crazy encounters with the Mariana caveman, a giant creature that got super close to him and really interested and was really angry, but it didn't kill him. It had every opportunity. So maybe that bar is some kind of protection, or maybe they're just not related. But then he had a Cyclops experience down in Panama City Beach. So anybody on spring break, you know, don't wander too far from the beach, because if you start getting where the golf courses are, it's either alligators or this one-eyed Cyclops like swamp thing. But it's so cool because right when I moved to the Panhandle, I started doing all this research on local cryptids, and then it started unfolding Donnie Miller's encounters. You know, I started researching them, and then months later, I'm a good friend of his. He has stood right in my kitchen, you know, and he's been on Bigfoot Odyssey, Sasquatch Chronicles, told his stories, man. And I just saw my brother Squatch in South Florida. He is also good friends with Jeff Townsend, Donnie Miller, and we're making a documentary called From Fear to Understanding, where we bring ultra vibrations to our Sasquatch research. He uses dowsing rods to communicate with the forest, and he has an ancient alien guardian angel as well that we're bringing into the picture. And we went to the Green Swamp after the conference, and we recorded one of the most significant, I don't know, just exclusive tree bending or tree knocking situation and interaction with these skunk apes. And even Donnie Miller, Chris Reinhardt, a lot of fellas have signed off on this, and they're like, "Man, I can't wait till you release that." But Matt was knocking back and forth with these Sasquatch, and they were like challenging each other with creativity. And I'm videotaping it, making sure my file doesn't go corrupted like the chemtrails. But we got it on 3 different cameras. It was really intimate experience. We got footprints, 3D scans of footprints footprints as well. Lots of crazy stuff. And then we took pictures randomly, and because we knew something was out there, and we saw some crazy faces and some huge beings. So I'm super excited. And that was just chapter 1. And then he linked up with a bunch of other guys in South Florida, but he's coming over here to the Panhandle to finish that up. But it was just super legendary. The first time we ever met was Mayaca. It was a legendary place because Mayaca is well known for the skunk ape. The Mayaca skunk ape photos, they were anonymously sent to the Sarasota Police Department. And 2 of them are public, but I've heard there are more than dozens of them because this was a frequent guest. But we went to the Crowley Museum, and it was a benefit that Stacey Brown was hosting, and it was all donations trying to raise money for the boardwalk. And they actually filmed a Finding Bigfoot episode there, too. And on my way down to my dad's to Naples, I got to investigate that place with my buddy James Brose from Outcast Paranormal 2, and that one was 2 of us. So we made a little mini documentary that night too. But the camp out was super legendary because you had like 30 people that were Sasquatch enthusiasts. You had Stacey Brown, the skunk ape man. You had RPG, Ryan Golembeski from Finding Bigfoot and Expedition Bigfoot, Maria Mayor's right-hand man. And then you had the young guns like me and Tyler Howell. And then Nana Boss and Squatch in South Florida, it was their first excursion. And man, it did not disappoint. They recorded the acorns being thrown at both of our tents, footsteps right outside our tent, murmurs and weird chattering, 3 knocks, loud and clear. And then we got thermal images of something big in the sky. He got zapped. I got that on camera. He almost went down. I joke with him because he went down, but he was still smoking his vape. We all got have your smoke. Mine would be the ganj, of course. Back in the day when I used to watch like gangster movies, I'd be like, man, how is he smoking before he robs that grocery store? And I'm like, man, that's the only way. But yes, the coolest thing was we found hair. Nana Boss and Squatch in South Florida, Matt, they found orange, red, clear, gray, white, green, black hair. And it's just an orange strand. And it was on a Native American display of an old picnic table. So it's super legendary, and no wonder Brian Laundrie was in that region looking, hiding out from the law, or was he looking for a skunk ape? But again, I think that is a big scam too, because we haven't heard anything. I think that was just the establishment because it was a little wobbly. They're like, distraction. So guys, don't fall for the distractions. But yes, Mayaca was freaking awesome. There's a Tatum house. It's like the most haunted house in that area. We caught many EVPs. In another experiment before I was there, the place actually shook, and then all the goats from the farm ran underneath it. So it's definitely got some seances, and there's a goat man chair.
Yeah.
A goat man chair.
Yeah, man. And I took a picture of an orb, and it has a goat man face. Freaking Baphomet, man. Baal. Always, guys. Drop the ball. No ball. There is no curve. But we got to stop worshiping Baal. He is an evil goat man god. Worship our creator, guys. The heavens above.
Hell yeah, that guy's not a goat.
Yes.
I would follow you into battle.
The goat, the greatest of all time. That again goes to the spelling. To be the greatest of all time, you have to mess with Baphomet. It gets weird and wacky.
Oh.
But we all
there goes that spelling thing.
Go in our circles. We best believe that.
Dude.
Oh my god.
There's no coincidence. Only paths of least resistance.
Yes, and I wanted to pull out my book when you first said that, because I'm literally, unless they edited that out in the new rewrite, the first line is, coincidence is the only thing to never exist in this world. Literally. That's it,
cool.
Man.
That's
Coincidence
crazy.
is the only thing that never exists. 3-headed dragons. Duh, that exists. Harry Potter and Hagrid told me that. Like, I'll die by their words as well. But man, you really have to check into animated movies too, like Abominable, Smallfoot.
I love that movie.
son of Bigfoot, the missing
The
link.
Smallfoot is so
Shrek.
good, dude.
Smallfoot was awesome. I know, man. And it's like they don't believe in human beings. Like they don't believe in the Smallfoot. Like the Bigfoot don't believe. You got to think there's some of them out there that they haven't met the human beings, because there's so much dense forest, deep caves. The ones that see us, for the most part, they want us to see it, or they're a traveling youngster. But man, it's just a beautiful world out there, and it all started when we're young. We take our teeth and we put it under the pillow for magic money. Like we are all little gypsy fairies, and we're all clairvoyant.
Yeah, dude.
Money. It's so true.
I remember when I was a little kid, I found out that my parents were the tooth fairy, and I kept losing teeth, and I kept putting them under my pillow. And I remember I was probably like 6, and bro, I was carrying around so much guilt for all that time. Man, I finally had to break it to my mom. I was like, Mom, I knew that you were the tooth fairy, but I still let you give me money, and I'm sorry. She was like, Nah, it's all right, man. She's like, what are you talking about?
Aww.
I felt so guilty. I
like-
was taking all that money from them.
I like that duality though. It's like it's almost like this moment of childhood meets awareness, to where like you no longer care about your needs, you care about those others.
Yeah.
Like I think that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like that's really cool.
That was deep for
I
a
wouldn't feel
6-year-old
guilty.
for sure.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was
definitely.
just like, I know it's my mom. Like that's kind of weird, but like if I tell her that I know it's her, I won't get the money. And I kept wanting to go to Walmart and just buy like Power Ranger toys and stuff. So
The one with the clicky in the back, and it would go like this.
yeah, it would flip the head from the regular
Oh,
head
that's right, it
to the
did
helmet.
flip the head, yeah.
dude. Yeah, for sure.
It would be like normal guy with suave hair, and then the helmet.
Bro, anytime
that
something
was-
came loose, I was wiggling that shit. I was like, come on. I gotta get a new
I was imagining you beating up kids, and taking their teeth. And your mom's like, L9. Like, she's like a tooth expert. She's like, you already lost this one. See, like me, I have like extra layers. I have crazy x-rays of like 3 layers on a couple of my teeth. So, man, I was milking it to the bank, buying Pokemon cards, football cards with that. But yeah, man, it's really cool that
Pokemon cards.
like I used to get I used to leave autograph book for Santa and the Easter Bunny, because you'd leave your cookies for Santa and I'd leave an autograph. So I always was trying to build that barrier. And when parents say that Santa's not real, I want to bust them, because who are them to know? Because there's some kind of root to reality. Coincidence is the only thing that doesn't exist, not
Right.
Santa. There's
Right.
elves, there's flying reindeer, magic igloos. Like there is something essence inside of that. And I like, even those were the first UFOs I was looking for, was Santa, December 24th after Christmas Eve party. The parents were a little tipsy. I was watching Colt Brennan break the record on the Honolulu Bowl, and man, it was I remember looking for Santa. Like, I love always looking to the sky, and the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny. Like, the Easter Bunny is a serious cryptid. Like, look at that thing. Imagine if that guy's in your yard leaving money. Like,
It's almost like that Easter Bunny it's an alien that was confused. Like, all right, I'm a bunny, but I also lay eggs. That's right. Correct, guys? We're good? And then, like, their other alien buddies were like, yep, keep going. You're like, they're totally going to catch him.
Man, I remember this is
Still they're going to believe that.
It's another childhood story, man. I remember, back in the day when the space station would come over your city, it would come on the news, and they'd be like, hey, the space station is going to be coming over. But, like, this particular year, it was, like, it just so happened to fall, like, on Christmas, so it was cool because, like, like, my grandparents and my parents, like, took me outside, and they were like, you want to watch Santa fly over? And I was like, yes. So they took me out to the loop, bro. We sat out on the loop, and they were like, look, there he is. And, I watched the space station go across the sky. But
That's so
I was just like,
cool.
yes, dude. So, like, here I am, like, 16 years old. Like, people were giving me shit. And I'm like, no, I saw him, right? Because I'm still believing. I didn't want to let go of that shit, dude. I knew it was real.
I wouldn't
in my heart.
either.
And then I went to space camp, and I was like, fuck. It's just a space station. And I was like, wait a second. That's still pretty cool, too.
see,
I am
anti-space station, but I've seen that up in the air too. So I definitely know that something exists. It might be Project Bluebeam, some type of projection that they have over it, or maybe they have some kind of like meteor or light or some kind of organism, deity timed up. But yeah, all the ISS footage definitely is BS, of course. But I have seen that, and that I love that it made it magical for you.
Yeah, it was a very
I am
magical
willing
moment.
to smash the ISS with both my hands, but hearing that honestly makes it like, wow, even that, you know, had some beauty. But you know, if everybody listens to David Weiss enough, they start to see the comparison between like people believing in Santa and people believing in like NASA and all the, you know, like space rocks and stuff. I believe that planets are deities in the firmament, and then Mars is like Marsus. There's an island beyond the wall about Mars. So Elon Musk is either a freaking bozo doing CGI convertible cars, or the guy is actually on the, you know, trying to go beyond the wall to these islands and trying to seek Pacific Rim. But man, I don't think he's very bright. You know, he didn't know the difference between a blunt and a joint. It's like, bro, come on. I'm about to, you know, sell you the spliff that's 90% tobacco.
Don't buy weed from Connor in Florida, Elon Musk, if you're listening.
Like, I'm not saying I'm the next president, but I'm a public speaker, you know, and the current establishment and the current science heads, they are sloppy, and we are breaking through, man. We are setting a new standard that they have their backs against the walls, man. We're getting awake.
I have this thought, guys, and let me know what you guys think. If the phenomenon, whatever it is, this could be paranormal, cryptids, UFOs, it could be anything. I'm just throwing this out there. If this was a form of energy that existed in our reality, what if it only existed because only a few people know the truth about it? And it's the curiosity, the chase, the game that fuels that energy. And if everybody knew about it, it would cease to exist. So there's your reason for secrecy, because we want this energy to exist. Yeah. So like maybe there's a reason. Like I always think like, oh, the big bad guys in this whole like disclosure movement or whatever. What if they do it? They're doing it for our own good in some way. Like maybe we're benefiting from this energy existing in our reality, in our dimension. But they keep it secret because if too many people knew about it, it would cease to exist. Like a battery or a battery would be like keeping that technology or disclosure a secret. But a capacitor, if you know anything about voltage and like different forms of electricity, capacitors give away their energy really fast and all of it at once. So it's like, do you store the energy and utilize it and make something happen with it, or do you just give it away for free and then it's gone?
Yeah. I think that's the code to the universe right there, because if you look at all the pyramids and the mounds and even just the infrastructure of cities, it's a electrical grid. It's just a big power. So I think there is high truces just to create, man. And we are still living. Times are good. They are rough right now. But if you believe in the creator, you have faith in all this, you know, following the next year, the next two, the next lifetime. So I definitely think you're onto something. And that curiosity and that awareness, it can't all be in one side. You know, there has to be the yin and the yang, the sun and the moon, the balance of life. Again, I think this reality has to continue how it is to harvest at all those football stadiums and the concerts and even the food being processed and the farms and the highway systems, cars moving, that kinetic energy. I think it all matters. And waterfalls are ancient plumbing systems of the old world. It gets crazy. I've talked to people that have been underneath New York City, and they said that it was made for people that weren't human beings, like giants and old kingdoms. So again, I think this world is 10% of what it used to be. Middle Earth is super popping, and then Jack and the Beanstalk, Castle in the Sky, all of everybody's favorite fairy tales or anime stories talk about lands in the sky, and then we joke about the sun being hotter and colder and them spraying chemtrails. I think they're hiding stuff in the sky as well. Maybe there's floating continents. Who really knows at this point? But I love that all the energy definitely is connected, and I want to have faith that somehow they have our best thoughts for interests. And I just know I have faith in my soul. It is eternal. I will never hand it over to them. So forever, I have the keys to my car.
Hell yeah.
Love that. Love that, man. Yes. Well, how are we doing on time, boys? Connor, I know you have something at 10. So
Yeah, we got about 30.
Yeah,
there's like 30 minutes left.
Yeah, do we have any questions from the audience or Jonah? Or what do you guys think?
Let's see if we got anything from the chat tonight, man. There's been quite a few of y'all in here tonight.
While we're waiting for the chat, I want to plug my 2 movies. And
Please
everybody can watch this one right now, live, for free on Amazon Prime. Zillafoot, half Godzilla, half Bigfoot. And it is about aliens. There's a huge alien encounter, and then they summon the Zillafoot, half Godzilla, half Bigfoot. And the military, they call the cryptid research officer. In stumbles me, half baked with all the truths. I'm telling them it's raining down from Middle Earth, the forbidden planets, the pretty much everything I've been saying right here.
Yes.
And then I have a flashlight on my head. It's really funny, man. It has humor and it has good knowledge. The movie is so bad, it's good. It's a cult classic. It was so successful online, SRS Cinemas, that it got a widespread release. So it's actually in Walmart, in FYE, Best Buy. You can order it online if it's not actually at your physical one. But it's so hilarious. But yeah, man, I play basically myself, a cryptid research officer, and the artwork is amazing. But they made new artwork for the Amazon Prime release. It basically is like Kong versus Godzilla. But this one definitely set the standard. And my homeboy, Jack McClellan, Altered Cortex Design. He's an FSU film student. He's all into kaiju monsters, and he's had a Dogman experience. He's been on Vic Cundiff radio. He's had Bigfoot experiences as well. He has a good friendship with the Bridges family, who they were the main subjects of that one Finding Bigfoot episode. So it was really just fate. He came into my comic book store. I had this Patty replica, and he's like, "Is that Bigfoot?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm the Bigfoot guy. I'm from Ohio." And he's like, "Oh, I made a Bigfoot documentary," and we've been good friends ever since. But yeah, he was one of the directors for Zillafoot, and it's like a hodgepodge of different directors putting together their footage. But the sequel is actually just going to follow our 3 characters and going to be directed by Jack. So the sequel is going to be a lot higher quality, and it's going to follow your boy most of the time. So I'm really excited. But then came the short film, and this one I'm super proud of, The Void Cat. This is a werewolf / Splinter Cat / Wildman movie, and I am the main character of it, and I am a cryptid research paranormal investigator, and I'm looking around these nuke silos, and I find this cursed idol, and I pick it up, and this werewolf takes over my mind, and then it flash forwards to Yes, there it is. IMDb page. And you can see my picture right there. I find this cursed idol, and then it takes over my mind. And then my buddy Nick comes over, and his wife and his daughter just got a new cat. It scratched up his clothes. He's all pissed off. He's cussing. He should have just been nice. So I had to, everything transcended from there. It is a legendary movie. It has gotten top 3, a lot of awards in a bunch of film festivals. We did a in-person film festival at the Tallahassee Horror Fest, and it got a standing ovation.
That's awesome.
Super dope. It's really, really fun. And my mom thinks it's outrageous, and I'm really proud of it, man. And it's really just set a bunch of things in different directions because we're already working on the sequel. It's connected to another movie that Jack made. Man, it's just, everything's going really good. And then another short film I was just in last weekend, it's called The Choice. And it's hilarious because I play a murder victim of a female serial killer. And she beat the crap out of me, killed me. And then my picture is up on her wall, on her worship thing. So she's worshiping, Connor Flynn, dead as can be. We filmed my parts right here in my trailer, man. So we put in Trailer Park on the map. But no, man, it's just amazing bringing the cinema world and my love for folklore and urban legends, bringing it together with real life cryptid stuff. And one guy, our sound guy, Ethan, genius. He's in Zillafoot too. His character's hilarious. He wasn't really all in on the Sasquatch stuff. He's former law enforcement. Well, they were filming the drone shots. I was investigating the local area, the forest, and because I heard there was like they used to perform concerts back there in the woods, and there was a like dock area, really super dope. And then I run into the gardener with him, and he's like, "Dude, something's weird back here." And then when we're chasing information, a tree crashes down, and Ethan's like, "Are you the only one back here?" He's like, "Yeah, just me and my dog." And we like walked over slowly, and it was, you know, definitely a skunk ape. 98% skunk ape. We were talking about it. They gave us a sign. He's been all in ever since that. And it's just really cool when you can be there with people for their transformation. But I've also been there for people when they, you know, ate a 10 strip and they're like, call the police, call the No, you're not taking me down with you.
You're like, just eat some peanut butter. It'll all go away. You're not taking me down, dude. Eat peanut butter.
No, authority figures.
Here's a bag of sour Charlie Bright crawlers. Munch on these.
Yes.
Completely change your outlook on
I
life.
did open this tiny bag of barbecue chips. You can have the rest of them.
Ooh.
They're
I don't know if I could.
That's a lot of
I don't know if
flavors.
I could do barbecue chips.
They are very crunchy. They're very disruptive to the skull. Yeah,
It's got to be chewy and sour
right.
for me.
Yeah, okay.
The last time I did mushrooms is Philosopher's Stone on a full moon at Compass Lake, which is famous for like these old people that lived and died there, and they have their own graveyard. So it's really cool, like paranormal. But me and my buddy, the host, he's always like, trust the captain, man. I'm like, bro, I've tripped like triple digits, like chill, bro, like killing the vibe. But the other guy, he like ate way too much, and he like put himself into a coma. And I was really nervous he was gonna like wake up and again call the police or the ambulance on himself. So I was like hiding a bunch of my crap and like, you know, sending like GPS in paths, and I'm tripping, you know, and I'm like, I'm gonna hide right here. I'll be able to get to my car in the morning. You know, your mind's going crazy places, and I'm just trying to like figure out the truths to the world, and I'm like, this is too petty, bro. Come on, you ate too much.
It's not about you, man.
I haven't tripped with them since. They my fam, of course, but gosh, I cannot be big bro when I'm trying to be like little bro of Jesus, you know?
Man, I've eaten mushrooms so many times, and like it worked for me one time. It was pretty nice. It was relaxing. I didn't get like too loopy or nothing. But there was this one time where I ate these mushrooms, and the guy was like, they're total crap. He was like, you can have them if you want. He was like, the thing is, you got to eat them here. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I ate them, and I completely forgot. Because, dude, like, maybe like 2 hours had went by, and like nothing at all. And we all loaded up. We went to the mall, and I got right in front of the Foot Locker store, and they had these big-ass flags, and these flags just like zoom behind me, like they were doing all this crazy wavy shit, and I was like, he told me that those mushrooms were bullshit, and like I ate like an eighth of these things. Like it was too much. It was way too much.
You're like,
but the other times, dude, I ate them, nothing happened, and like people like have like these big nice mushrooms, like, dude, yeah, take this one, you're gonna feel it, and I'll eat it, and nothing. It's such a bummer. It's only happened to me twice. I've only had 2 trips. One was scary.
My brother is in the chat right now, Evan D. He runs a Cult 45 podcast. He was on Paranormal Chop Shop and Chad Smith's show recently.
Oh, nice.
But he is definitely a psychedelic warrior, and he does exclusive data, and he has communicated with these elf-like extraterrestrial race, and he's communicating with them. It started with DMT, and now he can access them through psilocybin, and then, you know, deep breath you can get there even naturally, and he is definitely a plethora of knowledge. And then my other homie Chaz, he lived down in Southern America or South America, and then a person actually talked to him about how bees and how they can levitate. That has a lot to do with UFOs. And one guy actually offered him a ride on a local UFO. So it's really cool talking to people that have like UFO connections of actually riding up in them, and then people that have been abducted. And then Evan, who has communicated with these deities, and literally has, built rapport. And then brother Matt from Squatch in South Florida, that it's like a guardian, and it's, I think, more internal than like an external communication. So it's really cool seeing all the different realms in existence. And sometimes you just have to, pick the windows when they come. I don't think I have any exact telepathy or spirit guides directly to me, but once you're in the right places and you're grounding for long enough, your instincts pick up on it in your third eye, and you just have no choice but to be and to feel it. Some things can't be put into words, and it's only through actions and internal vibes.
Doesn't I saw a diagram of like a monk breathing, and like they were showing that when you breathe, you're pulsating onto your pineal gland and like activating this. It was such a cool diagram of how it works. It was like they did the diagram and then they showed like an MRI of somebody doing these like very meditative breathing, like like very intense breathing, and like you could see whatever happens. I don't know, the larynx. I don't know my biology, but it actually totally happens. Like it pushes up against the middle of your brain that sets off this reaction. That goes like the middle of your brain. It's pretty cool, dude.
From the anus.
It starts in the anus. I breathe from my anus.
The anus to the brain.
Yeah.
And then you exhale from the brain to the anus. Yeah.
You can cure disease and heartbreak, headache, anxiety, depression.
Short of breath.
We're so unconscious with our breath most of the day. We're just like mouth breathers, just like following the orders, But man, just be conscious of your breath, and I just bet, the world will unfold for you. And deep breaths in the shower, humming. I've definitely heard lots of stories of Mother Bigfoot humming to the young child or to an injured one. So those vibrations. And you got to think, what's in our pineal gland? What kind of crystals? Because they say in cats, it's a special type of quartz. And when they purr, it sends out those healing vibrations. So imagine when we're feeling good and everything's falling into place. We see those videos about animals down on their luck, and it hits us so hard, and we feel like that, Human beings are even more compassionate, even more. It hits us even more, somehow our blockers like block us, because we would be so sad all day if we actually put in perspective, how some human beings are treated. But I just want everybody to be conscious of their breath, just so you can be that more alert. And again, I say this so I tell myself, again, everything. I would never send you guys into a swamp that I wouldn't dive in myself. So when feel like I'm ordering y'all, I'm ordering myself first, and I'm just hoping you guys fall in line behind me or arm in arm with me. But you guys,
I will follow you into. I would follow you into the deepest, darkest, wettest forest. Just off of vibes alone, dude. You're a shining light, my friend.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'll come with you guys.
I definitely appreciate that. I should have brought you guys yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw where I was at. I was at Tate's Hell Swamp, which is a really cursed area down here in the southern panhandle. CB Tate actually went into this cursed land and was lost for 7 days after his dogs chased after a panther, and he was bit by a rattlesnake. He met some mountain giants, an Amazon woman that took care of him every night. But right when he got out of the forest, 7 days later, like 25 miles, 200,000 acres worth of green. It's actually the greenest area on the map of known world, the known 6 continents, and then people be like 7. I'll be like, Antarctica's the bowl around us, the final frontier, whatever. But man, Tate's Hell Swamp was super revolutionary. I got like 2 hours worth of footage. And then I also went to the Apalachicola National Forest, and that place is famous because Kevin Saunders had a telepathy experience that a female Sasquatch spoke to him in his mind, brought him away from camp, introduced her physically to her parents, and then they warned him of the man he was with. And then years later, he finds out that guy was a bad guy. He bashed it from his memory, and then decades later, he talked about it on Bigfoot Odyssey. Kevin Saunders, if any of you guys are interested in that. But national parks are very dangerous for solo hikers in the rain after dark. So sometimes you got to put yourself out there for bait. But I got a lot of good content. And for everybody that, doesn't know my YouTube channel, I release one video a week of about a 2-hour adventure. So it's pretty much like a mini film, ranging from, ghost box experiences to treasure hunting to looking for the rod bender, the cabbage man, the stump jumper, the skunk ape, whatever you want to call them around here. But we always have good times on my premieres. It's a really good community. I'm super excited to start my own talk show. I'm waiting for that 4,000 watch hours, so we have a grand show. But I have some awesome paranormal connections that I'm always like sending to all the other shows, and I can't wait to chop it up. But I am a co-host on Gypsy Road as well. We started being a co-host on his channel Horror Talk, that we talked about scary movies and urban legends. We got a strike on that for some reason. So I've been on Gypsy Road a lot, and we talk about Mandela effects and UFO, and he has a breaking news segment. It's pretty much a news show that runs 4 to 5 times a week, and it's really awesome. I definitely want everybody to go over there. We're going to do an episode on dreams here in 11 minutes. So I'm really excited for that. It's going to be my 3rd show of the day, and I've already hiked a few miles and watched a few movies. I wanted to say, too, that I watched Attack of the Block right before this. And
It's
you guys
so
have definitely
good.
seen that.
Bro,
Yes.
it's so good. Yes.
Can't wait till the sequel comes out,
Is there going to be a sequel? Oh, my God.
Yeah, they already have an IMDb page for it, but
Bro.
wonder if Boyega will come back after his Star Wars success. But dude, that movie is so awesome, and of course, it has similar writers to Lost. And a new show is called From, and it's on Epics, and it's super really cool. It's about a city that if you go to it, you cannot get out, and then after dark, these creatures come from the woods and they hunt you down, and they just walk slow because they know you're running out of space to hide. But they disguise themselves as loved ones, and then they turn into like a rake-like creature.
Mhm.
And it's really freaking cool. It's a combination of Lost and the main guy from The Matrix. So it's really cool. Harold Perrineau. He's Walt's dad. He plays Michael in Lost, black dude. And then he's the main computer guy in the first Matrix. Super dope movies.
Yeah.
Super dope shows. I love cinematography in that. If any of you guys are really into movies, Letterboxd. It's an app. Letterboxd. Letterboxd. And I have a profile. You review movies and you rate movies and you add friends. So I get to see what you guys are watching and how you feel about it. And it's super cool. My profile is bumping. I have like 12,000 followers, but the key is you can follow a bunch of people. So every day at work, I just follow the max. And then, hey, each shift you just build. And now I'm at 12,000. And sometimes when I'm on the toilet, follow the max. But I, of course, encourage everybody to do that and hop on that app, if you're really passionate about movies, because there's lists and really cool. And if you care enough to go on an app about movies and talk about it, you kind of have that forefront to it. So it's like if you have a podcast about aliens, like, I want to talk to you, you already put in the groundwork. I want to talk to you. So I definitely recommend people on there. And if you want to see me live a lot, TikTok is definitely the place. I go live every hike I go, even graveyards and spirit box sessions. Sometimes I read my books on live, have up to like 4,500 people at once. Well, not at once, one showing. Had 272. That's the highest I've ever had watching me at one time. I think I just hit 63,000 followers on there. So I could almost fill up Cowboy Stadium. So that's pretty dope.
All right.
My Tate's Hell video, found some success. I'm an investigative journalist. I was a newspaper writer in school until I got kicked off because we mentioned alcohol in an article when we were talking about fans at an MMA fight. I was painting a picture, Miss Raglow. Like, geez, come on. But man, I'm an investigative journalist, and I have dug up many cool pictures and audio and visual. And then I have lots of cool friends like Long Island Bigfoot, Flat Rock Booger, Tim T, Squatch in Florida, Tyler Howell Outdoors, that they send me their footage, and then I have a cool platform to send it. I've had multiple videos hit 4 million. We're reaching like 20 million views, about 500,000 likes. So yeah, we can trick the algorithm once in a while to get some views, whatever. But to get that double tap like, we got 500,000 people to double tap that video, right there, 4.5. That just shows you guys. Upload anything, aim for the stars. That is just a random Sasquatch video that I uploaded while I was at work. 40,000 upload or followers later, 4 million views. Boom, boom, bang, bang. It's a beautiful thing.
Loving it, man.
You're gonna be hit with the hate. I've got thousands of comments calling it all fake, Sasquatch not real, scam, bunch of stuff, but you got to break through.
He's right
about
there.
The minds that are opening up and the conversations that are happening, and if you look at how many 10,000 people is, it really slows you down. It's like, man, that is a lot of people, and it makes you cherish it. But I just tell people, consistent content every single day for the last 3 months. I have put something out in the evening, and then just let it unfold. So all my friends that are doing TikTok work, stay at it, stay on that grind. Amber's Para World, you're up there with me. You're about 30,000 followers. That's so many people. She lives on a farm, and she's a psychic medium, man. She gets voices from all over. And like I said, you don't believe in Bigfoot? Go on my TikTok. Watch a video for 15 seconds. Like, that's the point I'll get to. Like, I can physically slap them in my head with a book, or I could show them hair that we found on a fence that is clear, and I'll let them hold it in their hand. That's the thing. You want Sasquatch DNA? Here you go. Let's go up to the museum. I'll let you dip your finger in the poop. I'm about bringing the audience here, and it's live and direct. And again, at the conference, I was like this, blah, 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 up on stage, and then everybody came to my thing. It was like, man, I just appreciate your energy. And I'm like, yeah, we got to be that new era, because it's an older medium, and it's up to us, the new era, to push things forward, because we know this technology. We're not scared to open up our minds. Some of us have went down one path, but others have broken free. And we just have to stay positive, stay natural, and just stay with the community and F the establishment. Turn off the news. Turn on Gypsy Road breaking news. Turn off the microwave, Try to drink less soda. Just be thankful for all the meals you have, and I don't know, just try to slow down once in a while. And life comes fast, like Ferris Bueller says, but just try to slow down, be positive, and try to be there for people. That's all I try to do. I try to be myself so other people can be themselves around me. I don't want anybody to feel like they're fake around me or have to put on a disguise. I want people to feel comfortable. And for that, you just have to be yourself. So I might stutter. I might sound stupid. I might contradict myself. But guess what, man? You just got to keep pushing forward, because we're all human. We all got that soul. And that's that eternal light. Coincidence is the only thing that never exists, They're after something inside of us. And there's a dome that every logo shows, man. So even if your beliefs and data doesn't lead you to that, just remember, well, Connor thinks you go to a dome after you die. So I'll see you guys all in heaven. And one day in heaven is 1,000 years on earth. So all of our loved ones, I know all of us have had really hard time the past, 26 months. One day in heaven, 1,000 years on earth. So even our loved ones that died, a decade ago, it's just like we're just coming home from work to them. They're just getting us ready for that afternoon lunch. And like, it's hard in this chapter, in this real realm, with that, losing people. But just know that your energy carries on way over this chapter. And there's so much of a bigger picture. My homegirl Cass showed me this sweet art saying bigger picture. And it really just shows you, man, like, you can have everything figured out, and then boom, it all flips upside down. And that's what I love. And that's why I love to challenge myself and have conversations and allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to be wrong, allow yourself to be stupid, because at least you can be that guiding light for someone else. And there's a lot of people in the shadows that, watch your show and my show and participate in these chats, and some people that don't, but it will hopefully empower and enlighten. Let's not enable any BS. Let's empower. the truth, because we have the power. We never have to set ourselves short. We never have to take the shortcut, never have to cheat it. We fulfill yourself, man. That's what I'm all about. And that's what my whole journey is about. My books are just so I can remember all the good people that left their mark on me. And so I can remember and forget about the stuff that has happened to me in the forest, because I'm ready for more adventures and more camp outs and more conferences and more conversations, more podcasts and everything, man. So I'm really excited for the future. And I know you guys have a really good thing cooking up, and this new era and this corner that we've created with, Paranormal Chop Shot, Trippy Josh, Sonny, the girls from One Time I Was Abducted.
Chad Smith podcast.
Like, there's so much stress in UFO community. There's so much bickering in Bigfoot. And guess what? We ain't getting soaked into it, because us, the new era, even the old people that have gravitated towards us, they represent that new era. And that's what it's about. And it's either get with it or get ran over by it. And you're going to have to do some really good job of ignoring, because I'm going to find you in every alley, every advertisement, every scroll. There's going to be some kind of mark. And if it ain't me, it's going to be all my homies that are preaching the same or at least enlightened message. Because, again, I don't want everybody to feel the same as me. I just want it at least to be accounted for in their mind when they're drawing their own correlations. Because if we're hiding beliefs and data that are embarrassing or something, then where the heck are we getting? But, man, we ran this all the way to the end. I'm about to do a podcast with Gypsy Road about dreams with a really cool author. And she's she's definitely a medium metaphysical magician, a queen, a goddess. So I love learning from the enlightened people, and I cherish this afternoon, guys, and I can't wait till next time, fellas.
It's been great, man. That's a beautiful way to end it. That's for sure, man. That is for sure.
I was just going to share Gypsy Road's the show so we can have people follow it. So is it just GYPSY Road, just Gypsy Road?
Yep, Gypsy Road. He's in the chat now, but yeah, it's a
sick.
It's a dream one. Yep, right there. And
Midsummer Night's Dream
is awesome.
Nice.
And if you guys do like what I'm putting down, I'm always on Gypsy Road through the week. Please follow me on TikTok. Check out the books. You could buy me a coffee, PayPal, all that stuff. It definitely goes a long way, because I lived out in my car eating syrup sandwiches, guys. But I'm very happy with that. I was homeless for a reason, and it made me who I was. I thought I was dense up in Ohio. I tripled in depth and became who I was. And my books tell a little story about it, but let's pass the joint around the campfire and we'll talk about it soon.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Dude.
Thanks for being on the show tonight, man. This has been awesome, dude.
Thanks for having me, guys. And continue on the awesome research and the awesome platform. And keep your eyes to the sky. Be safe in the forest. Do your research. And don't be scared to look stupid, because it's the ones that do stuff that are remembered. So just be a memory for someone and try to make it positive and make everybody's day better in the small run. Sometimes I catch myself getting so irritable and like short, and I got to remember who I am. So guys, remember who you guys are. I love y'all. Take it easy.
Love you, bro.
Man.
Thank you again, man.
Talk to you soon.
All right,
later,
man.
buddy. Hell yeah.
Dude, I would follow that guy into battle, man.
Hey, can we take 10 seconds real quick?
Oh, yes.
Holy shit. Who do you think would win in a talking battle between him and Melinda Leslie?
Melinda Leslie.
Dude, that guy had so much information.
I know.
It was just like flowing. What's his name? Jim.
Somebody said he was channeling.
He was channeling the whole time, and I absolutely feel that 100%. Something is channeling through that guy. Like,
have you ever heard Samantha Moet talk? she channels.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was friggin' dope. Yeah,
I just like that was one of the most enjoyable episodes, just because like I just love soaking it in. There were so many things that I
all
just
had to do was sit there and just listen to the story. That's our favorite part.
I know, it's awesome. I felt like I was trying to segue stuff here and there, but like, man, I could just listen to that guy talk.
Yeah, you didn't need to.
I love him, dude. He's great.
Yeah,
awesome.
And that brings it full circle, right? To it always brings you back to the same point. Like, with this conversation, man. You didn't need segues because it all circled back around.
Yeah.
All of it. All
it
of
did.
it.
All of it. Yeah, man.
Yes, dude.
There was like a moment where, sometimes, I mean, I hate to like break things down, but that's what my brain does. It breaks things down. But like we kind of touched like 18 different things in like the first hour. And then we kind of gravitated towards one thing. And then like a circuit, we just went through all of them and connected them back. It really, like, I don't know. Maybe I'll listen to it tomorrow and not feel the same way. But I feel like we did make a lot of connections to what.
Dude,
like,
it was
felt like we were throwing some shit out like at the beginning.
Yeah.
But we tied it in.
Dude, it was great, man. That was a great time. That was a lot of fun. That dude is awesome. He definitely needs to come back on. We could get the rest of our episodes ever of UFO Garage, and he could talk through them all. I know it. Dude. I know it.
It'd be awesome.
That dude was awesome. He had so much stuff.
Also, just his vibe, dude, and his overall outlook on things.
Yeah.
So positive is so refreshing, dude. Like, you and me try to approach the subject when we started our podcast 3 years ago. Like, hey, let's be positive. Like, everybody's so fucking disgruntled. It's so late. Like,
why are you so grumpy, dude?
Can we just have fun, dude, and like be interested and not like bicker? That's cool, right?
Yeah.
And Connor's the same way.
That's how he is, man. Yeah, he's perfect, dude.
Yeah.
He is, dude. He's like a third one of us, dude.
Maybe there's a slot open for
dude. We should definitely make that visit, and we should dress up like the three amigos, and we should go look for Bigfoot.
Bro,
that'd be sick.
You need to dye your hair blonde or brown, so we all look the exact same.
Oh, dude.
But we have big hats.
We have big hats for sure.
Yeah.
We got the whole get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't make another reference because it's been too long since I've seen that movie.
We could go find the singing tree.
Damn, dude, I've got to like digest all this information.
Me too.
And thoughts.
Me too, for sure.
But
we'll digest it.
I am seriously working on that thought that I brought up earlier about this paradox of the phenomenon, where in order for the phenomenon to exist, it's like an electric charge. Like electricity comes from within our universe. I mean, I could break it down again. It's like something I'm working on, dude. I might want you to illustrate a comic and like try to make it super simple, and like we could do like a 20-page comic. That'd be sick, dude.
I'm down.
But
I'm down.
That concept of like it doesn't exist unless only a few people know the truth. And what fuels it, what keeps it going, is that it's the conservation of energy, right? Like, I'll talk to you off air about it, but dude,
yes, dude.
I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool.
Let's do it. Let's throw some ideas around, man.
Let's do it. Now that we have found an editor, maybe he found an editor for the documentary.
That's right.
I'm gonna fill that extra space with another project.
Oh yeah, dude. This has been a very successful Tuesday for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Very successful Tuesday. Really enjoyed it. I had a great time. We're gonna be back on Thursday. Guys, go check us out, UFOGaragePodcast.com. We got all kinds of cool stuff. We got all of our shows on there. There's pictures of me and Ben on there. We've got all these sweet T-shirts and hats and koozies and underwears with Dave Scott's face on them. Like, there's just all kinds of goodies in there. I don't know if they're still there. But, yeah, man, it's a cool little spot, you know? It's kind of like your local watering hole, just on the internet. It's like Facebook, but better. Nobody tells you what to do.
Are you saying our website's like Facebook but better?
Yeah. It's way better than Facebook. I guarantee you.
It really is. There's so much interactiveness. You can fart hard.
You do all kinds of stuff. You can join and be a member. You know how it is.
Yeah, I feel like so. I was having a conversation today about like the absurdity of like just being a ufologist is not a thing, and like we've been joking about that for years. And that's the whole antithesis of this whole thing of the Dr. Scientist, space fart officer, the ufonaut. It's just it's a fun way to support the podcast, but we'll actually send you like a certificate with like your name on it. Like,
that's right.
So you can get certified.
You can be certified. We actually were gonna make ufologists like an actual certification, but we knew that too many people were gonna get way too butthurt about it. Be like, you cannot quantify ufology from $10.
Yeah.
Anybody cannot be, and we'll be like, yeah, we know it's a joke, but I hate that we have to, some of these people, man, it's like it's a joke. Do I have to explain to you that it's a joke?
Goddamn serious.
No,
Chill
that's not
out.
serious.
Jesus.
Oh God.
But. Yeah, space Bart. That's why it's funny. But.
That's why we've been saying. Are you trying to copy us now?
Yeah. Oh, you're trying to make a joke?
Oh, Mr. Funny, huh?
Fucking funny guy here we got.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
All right, man.
I added some new, real quick, dude. Just This is very important. I added some new emojis. Added some new emojis. If you don't want to support us through our website, you can support us straight through YouTube. $1 a month is the space fart, or is the Dr. Scientist. $5 a month is the space fart officer. And you get access to emojis, and we've got new ones. Did you see them? The Big Willie and our you're in our faces.
The Big Willie and
yeah. Spooky's got it. See the Spookamaradis. Thanks, bro.
I can't see the emojis on my computer.
Okay.
Yeah, all I see is like semicolon underscore Big Willie semicolon underscore Big Willie.
Could you see it now?
Oh, look at that, dude. So every time I see my name here, it's my face?
Yes.
That's what's up. I didn't even know that. I thought y'all guys were just typing out these long-ass things, like repeating Joe, Ben. Big Willie, Big Willie, Big Willie.
This entire time?
This entire time,
look
dude.
At Chad and Mr. Crowley, Spooky are filling our...
Look, this is what I'm seeing. I'm going to share my screen. Look at this. Share screen.
Share it.
Here we go. Yep. Share. Okay. Click. See, that's what I'm seeing. Joe.
You got to do the pop. You got to go on YouTube.com. You've heard of it.
God damn it, dude.
And then you got to do the pop-out chat. You got to pop it out.
Go to another website. You got to put it in the passwords, and then you got to put it in a little screen. It's gonna be small. It's like, Jesus Christ! It can't all just be on one thing. What? I'm not doing that. Especially now that I know what it is, I don't even need to see it. Shit.
Now you can just use your imagination.
I'm just gonna use my imagination. I'm not doing all of that.
We do need one for Spooky and one for Mr. Crowley and one for Chad. So anybody got well, Big Willie's already got his. So anybody got any ideas for that? Who else do we need one for?
Stephen Greer.
It's just one big nipple. I feel like Nightmare needs one. Tammy needs one. Oh my God. Champ needs one. That's for sure. Who's some? I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I'm choosing favorites here. Now I feel weird. We love you all. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Yeah, everybody. We asked a lot of new faces, a lot of new screen names tonight. Thanks for hanging out. If you found us through the Lou Elizondo episode from last week, man, that was a fire episode, man.
It was fun.
We I guess apparently it's like the first time he's ever talked about some esoteric stuff, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
And now everybody's asking esoteric questions. Okay, cool. I just love that he answered it.
I know.
I just love that I don't care. I don't want any credit. I love that the conversation is happening. It's dope. Freaking love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, dude, what's coming up on Thursday, man?
Thursday is spooky. Sorry, dude. Give me one second.
No worries,
Your
man.
channel.
I get paid hourly.
Who's paying you?
Nobody.
Nobody. Peculiar Spirits with peculiar daughter and Jacob Willett. And one moment. I needed more time. 1 second. This is bad. I feel bad. I'm so sorry.
Intermission.
Tommy Wingham.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing great. Tommy Wingham, peculiar daughter, and Jacob Willett. I still need some headshots. I'm waiting on that, but making a new thumbnail. And then Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Akashi Chris talks ancient megalithic sites with Big Willie.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna be sick.
I love ancient megalithic sites.
Ancients. They were the druids. Oh, you know what we know about the druids?
Nothing. No one knew who they were or what they were doing.
What they were doing.
Dying.
All
right, man. Well, I'm gonna go Mimi's, fool.
Oh, go Mimi's?
I'm about to go Mimi's.
Oh, bye-bye.
I'm gonna take a shower, go Mimi's.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm sleepy.
and then all of a sudden, I got a sleepy.
Sleepy. And then I woke up and I was right. I'm gonna go.
All right, man. That was fun,
man. Hey, love you guys, man. Thanks for showing up today. We'll be back on Thursday at our regular late time of whenever we decide to hop on, but usually around 8ish. So we'll see you guys there, man. Love you guys. And y'all come back now, you hear?
Y'all come back now, you hear? I'll tell you what.
Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up out the ground come a bubbling crude. Well, that is black gold, Texas tea. Yeah, dude, I love the Beverly Hillbillies, man. Well, then before you know it, old Jed's a billionaire. The kin folks said, Jed, move away from there. California is the place you want to be. So they loaded up the truck and moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools and movie stars. And that's it for the show, everyone. Like I said, you'll come back now. Oh, that singing cracked my throat. Sorry, I have no idea.
You come back now, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know what over here. All right, bro.
I love you guys.
Hey. I love you guys.
I love you guys, man.
I love you guys, dude.
No, I love you guys.
No, you guys, everybody in the chat and watching the show. Love you guys. Don't let Joe know. Shh.
Don't tell him about it. You already know it. That's right. This has been another episode of UFO Garage. We'll see you on Thursday. Thursday. UFOs,
Goodbye.
aliens, and all things weird.
Weird.
Adios. Arrivederci.